No, it seems like a nickname my child would make up. Like, what are we going to call? Reaver butt.
I'm speechless. I don't know what to ask you.
If that's your kink, I'm so happy for you.
I will throw my old Kindle across the room because I'm not doing that anymore.
And now, here are your hosts.
Hello, fellow bookworms. Welcome to Bookmark Your Next Chapter, a podcast hosted by Katie,
Amanda,
and Kristen.
Three friends who love books. All right, Kristen?
you almost didn't make it through that. It was like you started to choke on something.
Yeah, start.
You're going to make it. The night is still young, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, hello, friends. Now that Kristen is alive and well, and we know she's not going to need the joining to stay alive, we will continue this podcast.
Well, it's like well timed.
Thank you. Segui, as some would say. In today's episode, we are going to be covering the rest of this book, which is chapters 45 through 50. And I will say I was a little hesitant at the start of this, but it wasn't too bad yet.
Yeah.
So
This was the best info dump, lore, information gathering we've gotten in like half the book, I think, at this point. So I'm so
very true.
happy that this is finally
I
we're getting more.
have I posed a question back in the last book, and it finally got answered.
Oh, I'm excited to hear what that.
I think
It's
I
not
know
that
what you're
exciting.
talking about because one of my notes is all in caps. Oh my God, Kristen, you were right. And I don't remember what it was about. Oh, I remember what it's about. It's in chapter. It's all in caps, so it's right here. 48, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nope. I think mine was not that one.
Ooh, fun.
47?
Ooh.
I have two. 47?
Nope.
Oh, well. It'll be a
There were
surprise for me
Things
then.
here
I don't
too.
know what it is. I'm trying to find it in mine. Oh, 46.
Oh. Okay, I have no idea what it is then.
I also had a couple moments where I kind of am like, I have a theory, and then I'm like, wait, I don't know if this is someone else already had this theory, and now it's coming together,
same.
or I was like, is this a theory or is this something we already knew
Fact?
to be true?
Yeah.
I'm like, is this a fact? And I'm like forgetting, and yeah, so.
I was struggling with like, this sounds familiar. Did one of us come up with this?
Yes!
Or
Yes, I know. I was
Yeah.
like, this is where my brain's going, and I don't know.
There's even a
if
few.
it was-
There's one I'm like, I know someone had this theory. I can't remember who, but props to you.
Isn't it funny though? Because you're like, it could have even been me. I'm like, I might
Yeah.
have said this. I don't know.
Yeah.
Someone said
Yep.
it. And
I'm like, I remember talking about it, but I don't know if like one of you guys had the theory and then I just like gave my input on it. It's
yeah,
listen.
this has been such a long, a lot of episodes up to this point, so it's hard to
Yes.
remember when things happened. And
it has. Yes. All right. Well, before we get into our chapter breakdown, we have some housekeeping to take care of.
Yes. So as always, we are an R-rated podcast. So any hanky-panky, any swear words, it's all
Penises.
There it
on
is.
the table.
Penis
There it is.
So if you have a spouse, a little one, a parent, anyone you don't want to listen to this with you, send them on their way now. You can pull up your Kindle and follow along with us as we finish this book. Finish it.
Phew. Oh,
I
I
got
forgot
to
to change
change
my
my
book
thing.
count. Oh, did you
I don't know
just
where
say
mine
that,
is.
Kristen? We literally just said it at the same
Yes.
That's
time.
hilarious, you guys.
Oh, I added it to my Goodreads and I was like, oh,
Yes.
looky, but I forgot to change this. So.
My
You can
book
do
count
it
was like
on the pod.
late.
Be like,
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. Well, see, the problem is I have to dig through my bag of all the numbers, so I'll spare you all that.
See, I have
fair.
a nice drawer at the bottom of mine.
Yeah.
they
see,
all
Shout
go
out to
in?
Little Inklings Design. I love her.
That's so cool.
yeah. Don't do
Mhm.
Temu like me because I had to hot glue the pieces together.
Wah, wah.
Mine's like 3D printed.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. All right. Are we ready to get into this set of chapters?
We ready?
Ready.
All right. So I will start us off with chapter 45. Chapter opens. The trio is still intertwined, and Poppy is recognizing that the joining had worked. Poppy seems to be resting on Cass's chest, and I think Kieran is resting on his shoulder, like wrapped around Poppy too, from what I gathered.
I think so,
At first I thought they were like opposite sides of Cass.
I did too, but then she said she felt him behind, like she was sandwiched between them, from my
behind her.
understanding. Yes.
And I was like, what? But Poppy notes that it's not awkward like the silence, but it's more of like content. So I was like, fine. I still don't like it, but fine.
I don't like it, but she likes it, so whatever.
Yeah, I'm so happy for her.
I really liked, this is right at the beginning, like a growth moment for Poppy. Like she says, and I copied and pasted the quote. And I didn't know if I should feel conflicted about what we'd shared. Actually, I did. It struck me then that there wasn't anything I was supposed to feel. It didn't matter what I would have thought or felt a year ago. All that counted was what I felt now, what we felt. And that this was something good, right? Peaceful. I'm like, this is so like, I feel like such a big moment for her. And like just in general, like in life, like what you felt a year ago isn't necessarily, and who you were a year ago isn't necessarily who you are now. And I'm like,
right.
I love that. I love seeing this growth in her and like just having it said for anyone reading. I'm like,
and her recognizing in herself, like, this is something that I like and that's okay kind of deal.
Well, I also made a comment on this because I think it really like full circles to kind of what we were talking about before as well, because like she alludes to, or at least the way that I interpreted this was like a year ago, I would like, she was like, oh my God, the joining, like she wasn't in that mindset. Right. And this was like a moment where she acknowledged like a year ago me would never have done this and would have thought whatever I would have thought, but like, I'm no longer that person anymore. And it's okay that I'm not that person anymore. And that what matters is right now and how I feel right now and what's going on for us right now. And that we're happy with this. So who cares that this maybe wasn't in my radar a year ago, because what matters is right now. And I just thought it was really cool because we talked about that, right? Like there's how we maybe felt about Kieran or how we felt about whatever before, and people can grow and people can learn things about themselves. And this was kind of like her internally verbalizing that to us. And I thought it was really cool after those conversations we had that it was basically her saying exactly that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Agreed. So she just like, she kind of stretches out her feelings to them and to see kind of what they're feeling. And like, she's not noticing any kind of shame or regret, just peace coming off of them. And she's recognizing in herself that she feels the same way. So they're all on the same page, both literally and figuratively.
And so is their like body. She mentioned that their hearts are beating in tandem. Their breaths are matched in pace. And it mentions that like a few times in a few more of these chapters too. Like, because at first I thought it was like a figuratively thing, but I think it's like a literal thing. I think by the way that it has been mentioned. Because at first I'm like, oh, that's cute metaphorical, but like I think there's more literal sense to it.
Because like it's mentioned a couple times in here where like one of their heart skips a beat and they don't know whose it is. Like,
because they can all feel it. Like it's happening when one of them has this feeling or emotion, another. And I kind of question throughout these chapters, like the way that this bond works now, like because they say they feel the same for the most part, but like when Cass was bonded with Kieran, they were able to like speak through that bond the same way that Poppy can with all of them.
No, he never could speak through it.
No.
He's really jealous of the fact that Poppy can. No, I don't think so.
I think
it was just
mentioned
a
few times. Yeah, I think it's mentioned a few times that like it's almost like they could speak through the bond, but like they can't.
Okay, so it was more like that feeling. Like if Cass was anxious, then Kieran felt that anxiousness. So that's what's here now. Then we could assume. Like, so if one of them is anxious or excited or this, like they all kind of feel it as their own emotion almost, and it's like, is that mine? Is it theirs? Okay, I was like, can they speak to each other, the three? But I
don't know if they can or can't now. I don't think they could before though, but
okay.
I wondered if that would be something that might develop later. I didn't know.
So right now it's probably just that emotion part that they're all feeling as one. Okay. Poppy starts thinking about the curse that Isbeth laid onto Kieran, and Poppy asks Kieran about the mark on his arm. She was just kind of remembering about it and notices that the mark is gone. They speculate if this means that the curse is gone now and that Kieran is good. And Kieran basically says, I guess like we're not going to find out. Like the only way we find out is if it doesn't work. And or unless Isbeth tries to go back on her word. That's the only way that they're going to find out. And then Poppy asks Castile and Kieran if they feel different because of the joining, and Castile says he felt tingly, and Kieran agreed. And cause at first they kind of are joking about it and making it a bit sexual, like, and then Kieran's
We're
like,
so
no,
shocked.
yeah, right. And then Kieran's like, no, like I actually felt the same thing, and that it felt tingly everywhere inside his body. And Castile explained it almost as like a warmth of sorts.
Which is interesting because Poppy, when she is expressing love, notes that the warmth, like, it takes over the cold parts of her. So I'm like, is it the
Yeah.
same kind
Yes.
of warmth? I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting.
There is a point, it might be in this chapter, that she talks about the cold coming back. Did you catch that? Is that in this chapter?
I can't remember which chapter it is.
It wasn't
but I
previous,
do
though. It was
remember
these
I
ones
don't
coming
think
up?
so.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, I
definitely in
think
this
it's-
section.
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure in this section, yes.
Okay. So Kieran gets up and he jumps into the water, and Poppy and Castile decide not to join him because it's too cold, and Castile doesn't want to damage any of his fun bits. Castile then asks Poppy how she's feeling, and Poppy says normal. And he's like, my queen, like, I'm asking for more detail than that. Like, I want to know how you are after the joining, basically. Poppy explained that she doesn't feel shame or regret, and she's happy that they've done it, and in hopes that it works. Castile was very relieved to hear that, and she asked him, like, did you think I was going to regret it? And he said, I didn't think you would regret it, but I also was hoping that you wouldn't. Like, kind of like I was worrying about you and just wanted to make sure you were okay type way, not like I knew you were going to regret it kind of thing.
I wrote this quote down because I really liked it. Like, he says, like, I didn't think you would regret it, but I hope not. Like, thinking about something and then doing it and then feeling it after are three different things. And I'm like, I loved how Cass, like, took that moment to check in with her to, like, make sure, are we shocked? He always seems to be checking in on her.
Yeah.
But, like, acknowledging that, like, she can think she's going to be okay with it, and she could very not be okay with it. Like, I love that he would have validated that. Like, if she was like, fuck, what did I do? Like, he was there. He seemed to be there and ready to validate, like, that's okay. Like, this never happened. Like, never has to happen again. Like, we can move on. Like, I really love, like, I really
and the way he explained that, and he said, like, it's like how you think you're going to feel, how you did feel, how you feel after, like, they're three very different things, and that it basically telling her it is normal if you don't feel okay after, or it's okay, like, no matter how you're feeling, it is okay to feel that way. So yeah, I totally agree. It was powerful.
I really like that. Yeah.
And I love how he's like, you know, I felt so honored and worthy of your love. Like, because that's been his theme this whole time, is he's not worthy of her.
Huge. I feel like a
and
huge
he's like,
moment.
I feel worthy, I feel chosen. And I'm like,
yeah, I felt the same way.
And then he goes for a swim.
Yeah, first he's like, we're not gonna. So Castile decides to join Kieran for a dip in the water, and Poppy decides not to. As Castile gets up, he grabs a cloak and drapes it over Poppy and says that she is beautiful like this. He said that when he opened up to them, when she opened up to them, and when her essence entered them, that's when he said that he felt worthy of such a beautiful gift, was what he said. And I thought it was so cute, especially when he's always like, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. And he is basically saying, I feel worthy because, like, when her essence, like, entered them, it was almost as if he could feel her and realize like what he meant for her and that he was good enough. It was like Castile realizing I'm good enough, just like Poppy realizing like she's good enough, and it was like an internal growth thing. Yeah, I really like
it's
that.
Kind of an interesting thought because like Poppy can sense his emotions, right? So at any given time, she knows exactly how Cass is feeling for her because he doesn't tend to shield against that. But like that's gonna be weird for him. Like he assumes as much, but like this was probably the first confirmation, like not to the same extent as Poppy, but like.
But feeling that emotion back, right? Being able to sense it from Poppy versus just like, oh, I kind of hope that.
Literally,
you know?
though.
Where you question yourself and you question like, and he got that, like, there was no questioning raw emotion. Yeah. That's a good point. I never really thought about it like that, but good call.
Liked it.
So as Castile joins Kieran in the water, Poppy mentions that the hollow part inside of her started to return. So I'm assuming that hollow part was when she talks about like the coldness and then
Yes,
sometimes the
yeah.
warmth kind of
Yeah.
comes in. But I wonder, like, is this, do we think, you know how they say like all gods eventually get like bored and become cold? Do you think that's almost like that part in like as a god, they all have that and she has to almost like balance the like blessings of life, we'll say, the things that like keep you happy, and if that gets out of whack, that's almost how the gods can turn cold and bored, is if they
Well,
let that cold part
That
inside
makes
of them.
sense.
You know what I mean?
that was kind of my thought process as I was reading it. However, having finished the book and we now know that she's destined to be primal of life and death, I almost wonder if it's those two
The
forces
balance.
at will.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
And that she just has to have that balance. That's
Yeah.
cool. I never even considered that, but good call.
That's yeah.
If you have notes, just like jump in as I keep reading my narration.
Nope,
pieces
you're
here.
going word for word with I got. So
Okay.
full speed ahead.
So Poppy wakes up the next morning next to Castile, and after they wake, I think it's like insinuated they have a bit of sexy time. I was
Yeah.
kind of like reading fast, but it didn't
Yeah.
say
I
it. But
thought
I'm
of
like,
Kristen
I think-
here. I'm like, Kristen, you'd be so happy because they're just saying,
I was.
and then we made love and they
Yes,
moved on with it.
It was
I'm like,
perfect.
thank you.
like we know
you.
it's great, but let's move on.
Yep.
So she
We got
asks,
shit to get to.
and this is the first set of chapters in a while that we haven't had like an active sex scene.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we got like so much information, and we have a break from
Well,
like
like-
the.
It's so like I think I had this note like the week I wasn't here, but I was like, the book is called The War of Two Queens. I'm like, when I heard that title, I'm like, oh shit, we're getting a war, like a battle between Isbeth and Poppy, and then there's nothing.
I
And
know
I'm
there
like,
really
I was
isn't,
expecting,
like-
but then I'm like, you know what? That actually kind of like I was expecting a battle, but then I was thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? That actually kind of makes sense. It makes sense that a war between two queens is more psychological than physical,
It kind of
Yeah.
does make sense, actually.
but I was
But
expecting
when
a
you
battle.
think of war, right? You're
Yes.
thinking like
Yeah.
Isbeth, and they're like shooting their magics at each other and stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
And their meeting at the end was kind of anticlimactic.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was
agree.
expecting more.
more of a
Yeah.
fight.
I felt like it was
a fight
la-di-dod.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
So after they're done their sexy time, she asks Castile when he's going to talk to his father, and he just responds with soon. Poppy then mentions that my words are weird here. King Garland is what it says here, but I think King
Valid.
What am I? Valen. Okay, I'm
Valen.
like the Jalara. Poppy mentions that King Valen is not going to be happy with what they've decided to do, and Castile agrees that he would not. And Poppy says that they spoke to the generals and gave them some more information that they felt they needed to know, but they're not telling us what that information is.
Rude.
I know, right? So, and this is all because Poppy hasn't finished the culling yet. She is more vulnerable in this moment, which also makes Castile and Kieran more vulnerable because their lives are tied to hers. So it was decided that if Castile and Poppy don't make it back, then Venetta will ascend to the crown or to the throne, and that she would have to like hang back and not partake in what they're going to do because of that. Yeah, before I move on, like I have more, but I want to pause in case you guys have any comments to make as I go.
Nope.
Yep. No, I got nothing.
Okay.
Just yeah, she's gonna be left
So-
behind with a guard of babysitters.
Yep. Basically. So
It's fine.
Castile left to go speak with his father, mentioning that Kieran would be with him, so Poppy did not need to come. He wouldn't be alone. I was kind of surprised that we didn't get a POV change. Like I thought it was going to happen right there and we were going to see
Mhm.
how that conversation went. But at this moment, I was like, we'll probably still see that conversation. So I wasn't super worried about it. So Poppy decides to go visit the stables. It mentions that Malec's coffin or caskets, however they're wording that, was in a wagon ready to leave the stable. She speaks to herself, I guess, as how she can feel the essence of Malec and touches the wood of the coffin and wonders if this is what it would be like when she gets turned, or if she has to get not turned, but like
Entombed.
buried, entombed. That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. And then she's like, okay, I need to kind of stop having these dark thoughts. And then we
And
hear
it's
Because
also
warm.
kind of Yes.
Oh, yes, it's warm.
Creepy
And I
because
was
like
like, why
she
is it
makes note that the
warm?
room around the
It's
casket feels cold, but when she touches the wood, it's warm. And I'm like, weird. Because later
Very
when Malec
weird.
comes in, he feels the wood and it doesn't say that it feels
Yeah.
warm to him.
Good
So
call.
like,
was
what does that
wondering-
mean?
I was wondering if it's because it's her bloodline. Like, I meant to go back and look and see if she felt anything when she touched, like, her father to see if, like, it was warm or
Oh,
cold then.
yeah.
But I'm wondering if it's
Interesting.
warm to her because she's,
Blood
like, that's her
recognizes
bloodline.
blood.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That is interesting.
So, Poppy hears the crunch in the straw and whips around, and Malec is there. Which
And you
at
guys
this
had me
moment-
feeling so sus of
Me
Malec.
too. I
Like,
was.
God damn it! God damn it, both of you!
Well, as soon as he was there, I was like, this seems
was acting
super
weird.
suspicious. He was.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Poppy asks Malec, he's like, you're out here alone? And he answers, I'm not supposed to be, but I'm really
Yes.
good at being where I'm not supposed to be. And I'm like, that's ominous AF. So
Right?
you're not helping the sus
Yeah.
meter here.
He also mentions in this, like, that he should be in his cell or chambers. And I'm like, I feel like that was a really, like, full
Yeah,
circle
dig.
moment to when
Yeah.
Poppy said the exact same thing when she was first with Gas.
Ooh, she did.
She's like,
Yes,
let me
she
go back to
did.
my cell. Oh, sorry, chambers. And I'm like, this
Right,
is
like,
like
how
a,
dare
very
these people
warm,
keep
Full
me-
comfortable chamber.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
It was
forgot
kind of
about that.
interesting that she is doing that to someone when she
Yes.
had it done to her, and she was like, "This is
Mhm.
so wrong." I mean, it's very
I mean-
different because Malec wronged them, where
Yes.
Poppy
Yeah.
didn't wrong them and get put in
Right.
that position. But it's
Yes.
She was
just kind
just
of funny
captured.
though.
I
Yeah, like,
was
not
like,
her
I'm
fault.
glad he's, like, under watch, though. Like, she learned
Yeah.
after the widow. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, I know you have to. So, like, good. But
yes,
it was very full circle. Full circle.
it was a good catch to notice that. So Poppy says to Malec, "I hope you were not out here with the intention to try and stop us or like cross us or what have you." Malec says, "It has crossed my mind," which is interesting because I'm thinking
Yes.
like, why? What would
What do
the
you
benefit
mean?
be to him to take Malec away? Like, what?
Honestly, like,
I can't understand. Does
are
he
you
want
going to
it to
take
the blood
him to
crown?
Isbeth yourself? Like, what?
Yes.
I
What
mean,
would you
he
do? Hide him
could.
away?
He could
But-
take her to Isbeth, like take Malec to Isbeth with the intent of like bargaining, like, I will give you Malec if you free Millie.
Maybe because I was like,
He
what would
could
be the
use
point?
Malec
Because
as
they're
a
already
bargaining
going
chip.
there. But I see what you're saying, like to get
Yeah.
Millie free.
Mm-hmm.
So Malec basically said the only thing that was stopping him was being burnt alive by the draken, and she's like, "That's not the only thing that should stop you." And he said that before it wouldn't have been the only thing to stop him, but a lot has changed. Basically,
made me
since he was
sad.
taken by the blood crown, and he's not
Mhm.
the same person that he was before. And then Poppy's like, "Well, are you the type of person that would sacrifice those that care about you then?" And I was like, "Yes, Poppy, because F you, Malec, for not giving a shit about Kieran."
No.
Malec then asks, "Who would you have sacrificed to save Castile?" And Poppy replied with, "I would sacrifice no, or I sacrificed none," is what she was
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah.
And then Malec kind of like looks at her and she gets defensive. So he looks at her and insinuates that like, you sacrificed your father, like you didn't get him. She's like, "Well, I'm still going to save him. Like I'm going to go back for him." And he basically said, "But if it was a question of him or Cass, like, you know who you would go for."
Because Malec is like, oh, I'm really happy that
Cass
he
has
has
someone-
someone that would like burn the world down for him, basically.
Mhm.
Yes.
Because like he deserves that.
And with what like he endured with the blood crown too, Poppy was thinking like, for the sake of Millie, would she not burn the realms for you? And he like laughed and said she'd probably burn me more than the realms.
Which, like,
and
did we
Poppy-
know that she hates him? Because I didn't know that.
No.
It was
don't
like
think we knew
spoken
that.
here as if it was fact. And I'm like, this is news.
Yeah, it was definitely news because she's like, "Aren't you heartmates?" But what's interesting is that when she like meets Millie, she makes a point, Poppy, to be like, "Okay, Millie clearly like doesn't not like I don't want to say she doesn't like him, but she's like hesitant, but then also cares about him in the same
Yeah.
time. Like
It
she's like,
gives
"Is
me,
he
like-
okay?" But like
Like, not enemy to lovers vibes, but kind of along that line.
kind
Where, like,
of. It's like when
she-
Cass.
yeah,
Go ahead, sorry. I don't know.
I-
Cut you off.
like she like, she's more likely to pick a fight with him, but like also she cares about him, like, and that's how she shows it. It's like, I'm gonna beat you up instead of showing actual affection.
It's kind of reminds me of how Cass and Poppy started. Where like
Mhm.
Yeah.
Poppy like couldn't stand him, but then she's like, "But I care about him." Like, what the f? It was like this conflicting
Yes.
thing,
Mhm.
and perhaps. So I have a. Do you guys? I have a theory about this and the heartmates thing because she
Wolven.
says, "Are you not heartmates?" And Malec says Millie doesn't know that we are heartmates, and Poppy goes to Malec. He says something like she remembers how he said he's done terrible things that she wouldn't approve of, and I think in this moment that he has erased her memories and that it was to
Oh.
protect her. What terrible thing could he have done? Like it makes it seem like she knew they were heartmates and he did something terrible, like erase her memory about them being heartmates to protect her. So she doesn't
Because
even know.
if Isbeth knew, she would have killed her.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a
I
good
kind
theory.
of, because I'm like, why bring up he's done terrible things that Millie doesn't know right after saying she doesn't know we're heartmates? That's where
Right.
my mind went. So that's my first crockpot theory of this section is
Interesting.
that they
a good
were
one.
like heartmates and they both
Yeah.
knew it. And for whatever reason.
I also liked how it was like I picked up how it was phrased. Like they say burn the realms, and I'm like, Harbinger. Like the theory talks about how someone's
Yes.
going to burn the realms, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
you could have phrased that any other way.
Yep. He could have. So there's my thing. So Malec didn't answer when she asked. Like how does she not know? She just doesn't, is what he says. And then she's like, how do you know? And he responds with, has anybody ever told you that you ask a lot of questions and that asking a lot of questions is a sign of intelligence? And
I liked that.
Yeah. And she had like a good response. And she's like, you don't need to tell me. Like, I know that.
Yeah.
But this is also the first time that, because everybody seems to notice that she asks a lot of questions, but he's the first one to see it as a positive and actually like compliment her on it, where everyone else is like, oh my God, this is so annoying, Poppy.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that he did that in that way, because he would be the first you would think that would be annoyed by it, because he's not really like on their side.
Right.
But he was the one to give her the compliment there. So that was interesting to me. Poppy asks if he thinks Millie will be present when they meet with the Blood Crown, and he says, I hope not, but the Queen will probably demand her presence. And then Poppy asks why she hasn't tried to fight back or go against the Queen, and Malec is like, what makes you think that she hasn't? And I thought we were going to get a bit of background on like, oh, she can't because she has like this magic where she has to listen, or telling us about like maybe how she's tried, but he just kind of leaves it at that, which was disappointing.
Which makes me really curious, because at the end of the book, we find out that she ran off after Isbeth was killed. So it's like, did she run off because she's finally free?
Right? So many, because she was very surprised at the end of things. And I'm like, I have so many questions, and I mean, we can get to it when it gets there. But yes, like very suspicious. And not like suspicious, like she's suspicious, but just like very curious that happened. Yeah, that way.
Very curious.
So Poppy asked about his bonded wolven and how that broke him. And I felt like that was a very bold and borderline unsensitive thing to ask in that moment, the way she asked it. But he did mention that King Jalara killed her in front of him. And we knew this, but I can't remember if it's because Cass.
No,
like
Malec told Cass
that's
when he went to go visit him in the cell.
I'm like, because this wasn't new to us, but I was surprised that Poppy didn't know. And I was like,
I know. I was the same thing. I'm like,
asking this.
We knew
she know this?
it.
Yeah.
Like, I was very confused as well.
We knew, but Poppy did not.
Got you.
So the chapter ends with Malec telling her about Preela and the wolven bone, and how she now carries like a piece of Preela in that bone. And Poppy's kind of like, how do you know? And he's like, I know what every single one looks like. Like, I watched it. And he said that the bone was first given to Cora, who then gave it to Leo. And he says he doesn't know how it got to her after that. And Poppy was like, oh, well, like Victor gave it to me. And like Victor is a victor, like Leo was. And Malec says, sounds like fate to me, doesn't it?
I love that it ended right on that. Like, sounds like fate.
I was like,
because the fates
do
play
we
a big part
think
in this
like
book.
Coralina knew Victor, or like Leopold did? Like, I had so many questions on how it got to Victor.
right?
It made
And,
me
like-
even think, was Victor there that night in the dream too? Like, because
Yeah.
they were killed shortly after that, I thought. So, like, how from there to Victor, right? How did that happen?
There's so many questions.
And I don't think Leopold is dead on page, right?
I don't think so either.
So,
no, he's not
like,
dead on page.
that
Yeah.
could be a thing that still is a
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Like maybe he finds out that Victor is now in charge of Poppy and gives her the ball.
Yeah.
gives
yeah, because they're
him the
victors,
ball.
right? So maybe
Yeah.
they have some sort of
Connection somehow.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting. Or maybe he hit it and like came to him in like the ooh realm.
yeah,
And
with
was
like the universe
Go
was
to
like
the
calling
tree left of the forest.
Yes.
I
Under
buried
the
it
blood, under the willow and the
Little pirate's map.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
the X marks the spot.
primal magic, the
Yes.
locator thing.
Yes.
Okay. So, chapter 46, the chapter starts in Cass's POV. He is explaining how he is standing next to Kieran, talking about the 200,000 soldiers that are there that are ready to basically go try to stop the war, not stop the war, but stop the Blood Crown, and they're ready to die to fight for this. Castile starts worrying about the curse on Kieran and hoping that the joining has worked to nullify that. But he worries it may not be enough. And then Kieran asks him what he's thinking about. And Castile half lies and just mentions that he was just thinking about how he's hoping all of these soldiers could live to see like peace in the realm. And yeah. So Kieran reminds Castile of what Castile told them when they left Atlantia the first time. And he says how you cannot save everyone, but you can try to save the ones you loved. Which I thought
comes
was
up
really cute.
Big later. Too.
You guys are gonna hate me for this.
Probably not. We'll see.
No, because reading that, like, you can't save everyone, but you can save the ones you love. And then they're like, "You're here, aren't you?" And then exactly, and as are you. I got ick vibes, and I'm
Oh,
like,
you know what?
oh.
That's interesting. Okay, a part of me, the first time I heard this quote, I didn't love it because I felt it was very like, fuck everybody, but as long as it's the person that you
See,
love. Like,
I
then who
got ick
cares?
vibes because I'm like, it feels like for a moment, I'm like, did the joining happen so that they could make sure they stayed alive? Like, I know that's
see
not how it
you
is.
See that though? Like I could see that perspective here.
For
Like,
the
Wait, I'm
briefest
confused.
moment.
Like you think that they love each other? Like,
well, they
No,
do love each other,
they
but
do.
but like love? Is that what you're
But the
saying?
way it
No.
was phrased, like, you're here,
You
aren't
are
you?
so right.
Yeah, I'm here.
it,
It's
it
almost like they
insinuates-
manipulated Poppy
Yes.
so that they could live forever.
which I don't think is what happened.
didn't.
Oh,
but
that's
it
No.
hilarious.
way he's
I did not
saying
get
it is
that
like-
at all.
reminds him you can try to save the ones you love, and basically he's like, well, you're here, so we succeeded in doing what
Yes.
we needed to do,
Oh,
no
that's
matter
Yes.
what.
Funny.
to save who we love,
I
which
would
is
have
each other.
never saw that.
I'm like,
That's funny.
I know. I'm like, no, like the joining, like they like each other. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, it definitely isn't the case, but I actually, you saying that, I can see how that could be interpreted
Just the
that
way it was phrased, like, you're
Yeah.
here, aren't you? Like, as are
Yeah.
you.
Like that, if
Exactly.
Poppy was there and then it was said, it
That's
wouldn't have been so
so
bad, but
funny.
Yes.
she wasn't.
I got a little bit of ick vibes. I'm like, oh, I don't like
That's
it.
so funny. The part of me that doesn't love it is just like, again, you're supposed to be like ruling all of Atlantia, and you want to,
Yeah.
like, I get, you should try to save as many as you can. And to me, that part is left out. It's just, you can't save
Yes.
everyone, you just save the ones you love. Where it should say, you should try to save everyone, but if you can't, at least save the ones you love. I don't know. A part of me feels
I
like
don't
it's
really-
very,
yeah.
like,
Fuck
I feel like
everyone
it's
else.
one. Yeah, it's something that's
Yes.
honestly wrong with the world right now. I find that a lot of people are like, fuck everyone else. As long as I'm good, like, we don't hold the door open for anyone. I'm just the one going through the door. I don't care who's behind me. Like, it kind of gives me those vibes. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that.
I'm,
Well,
you
like-
know,
that.
and I know it isn't meant that way, but
Right.
a part of me is like, oh,
Yeah.
it kind of
I feel like
sounds-
it kind of, like, I get what you're saying too, because it kind of feels like I'm going to save the ones I love, and, like, who cares about this person over there that someone else loves and cares for, and
Exactly.
probably it will be the end of their world if they pass.
Yes.
I don't, like,
Right.
it makes it seem like they don't care,
Yes, because someone loves them, and what about the
The
ones they
wording
love and the
just-
ones they love?
ain't it?
Yeah, but I don't think it's meant that way. But I'm just
No.
like, eh.
I get it.
But I feel better about it this time. Like the first time I heard it, I was really like, and that was when I was like really mad at Poppy and like raging, you know, and she was going down a downward spiral. So I think that's part of why I was like not happy, but I feel better about it now. So Castile summons his father and mentions that it was an odd feeling to be the one to summon him. And Sven comes in with Valen, and Castile and Kieran are there. Castile says to his father that there's something I did not discuss with you yesterday. And Sven's eyes are narrowing as if he knows what he's going to say. And at this point, I'm not sure if we know what he's going to say yet.
Right.
Because I'm like, is it just what they told us? Is it some other big thing we don't know about?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, as the reader, I don't think we have knowledge yet about this. But it definitely is something that was discussed with the generals. But then Castile does tell his father that what we just recently learned, that if something happens and they don't make it through the war, that Venetta is going to need support from the leaders to take the throne. And it needs to be somebody that the Atlanteans trust and that has experience. And then Valen's like, what about Jasper? And he's like, Jasper's never led an army before. And then Valen says, you think I'm worthy of such a position? And I'm like, absolutely not, actually. This is the worst thing ever. What do you mean? Like, I have so many thoughts about this. It makes me so mad because he says, I think that I trust that you would do what's right for Atlantia, and I don't believe you would make the same like mistakes twice, basically. And I'm thinking like, you're way too trusting of people. And I get that it's your dad, and I get that he has remorse, but you are not giving your brother that second chance right now. I mean, his brother doesn't seem as apologetic, I guess. But I just feel that if everybody were to learn the truth about what happened, then none of them would trust him. And I feel that it is owed to the Atlanteans to learn the truth about everything. And I think they will have to withhold the truth to keep that trust. And I feel like that's fucked up, personally. But anywho, whatever.
It's a fair point.
It is a fair point.
I rant about that a little more.
I thought this moment was like very sweet. Like I was like crying over Cass and his dad. I'm like, it's just so sweet.
Well, I
It
liked
is.
it because like Val essentially says like, that's not like my experience is not the only reason why you want me to stay behind. And then he answers like, well, you're the one that taught me like you can't save everyone, but you can save the ones you love. And he's like, it's Cass telling his dad like,
I love
essentially, I forgive you. I don't like what you did, but I forgive you and I love you and I don't want you to die.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really cute.
I know.
It is.
I love that.
I just wouldn't trust him to rule again. But anyways. Anywho, it was just that Valen says like, well, think of what Kieran is. Like he's their advisor to the crown. Like, shouldn't he also stay behind? And they kind of like exchange like you know. and he's like,
what the butt?
yeah, he's like, oh, never mind. I see now. So I thought that was kind of funny. So Poppy then enters with Tawny and Venetta after some time, after the meeting that Cass had with his father. And Castile spoke a lot about how Poppy looked. He was stating how when she entered the room, he was like, my heart skipped. And like, he was like, was that me? Is it Kieran? And he looked over at Kieran, and Kieran was also watching her come in. And
go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go. I'd love to hear what you think about this.
So this is kind of the first time I clued in that like their hearts are all like beating. Like when one heart skips a beat, all of them skip a beat. And I was like, I'm gonna make you guys are gonna hate me for this. So I'm like, with this heart pounding with it, I'm like, I'm gonna be real here. Like I almost hope a fourth joins. And then hear me out. They do the joining once. And then you have Poppy and Cass as a couple and Kieran and his partner, so that when their hearts all skip a beat, Kieran can go do his thing with his person and Poppy and Cass are over here, and then they stay separated.
I mean, I like
it's a one-time bang and then off.
I like the theory behind it. Because I'm still like, the dynamic between the relationship is just not what I ever expected it to become. So I'm having a hard time with it.
Same.
And so in this moment too, like, even if we take Kieran out of the picture, like, I'm just past this at this point. Even him being, it's like every time we're in Cass's POV and he sees Poppy, like, I get that he loves her and stuff, but it always is like sexual instantly. It's like, oh my God, she looks like this. I just want to bang her in her
army.
And then he goes up to her and whispers a bit. And it's like, guy, like, okay, I get it, but
And
like
he's,
she's
like,
not just a sex
old.
machine for you. Like, can you just look at her and be like, wow, like she's so
Beautiful and
does
powerful
say,
and
yes. And he does
Yes.
say like she looks so regal, and he says his lust is burning of like hot fire, what have you, and he says just as almost as much as his like respect for her or something. And I'm like, nah, like they should not be equal.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be just
almost as much, sir.
Yes. I was kind of like, guy, like I get it, like be horny, but like if you cannot see her and you're like I don't know. It
Think
would
of something
piss me
else
off.
at any other
Yes.
moment.
Yes.
It would piss me off that the first thing you come whisper in my ear is that. Like every once in a while, okay, yeah, and it's like, ooh, that's risque. But it's like, for fuck's sake, like, can you not sit here and just be like, wow, you were so powerful. Wow, you were so great. It's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
I want to fuck you in that uniform that you're wearing. And
Yeah.
then
let
Kieran
Kieran
like,
watch.
yes, and then Kieran can kind of sense like that. And I was just like, I don't know. The whole thing, even if Kieran wasn't there, I was just like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
I was over it.
Yeah, their moments are ruined for me now because I'm just like, the wet blanket's in the room now. It's not leaving.
That's so funny. And like I felt that it
I'm
was
sad.
losing its like the sexual tension that I feel like
yeah,
would be needed in it. It's just it doesn't seem
Yeah.
I don't know.
it's not scratching any itches anymore. It's just
yes,
like, okay.
that's a good call. Like it's not like you're anticipating it on the next page or something to happen.
Yeah.
So yes, he whispers over to her ear and says, I want to fuck you right now, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, let's move it on. This has nothing to do with the storyline.
I wondered
Um,
too, before that, he
yeah.
looks at Poppy and he says, she looked like a goddess of war. No, a primal of war. I wondered if that was foreshadowing, and I was proved wrong later.
Mm. Wow,
But-
catch.
Good thoughts. Good thoughts. He does
tried.
tell Poppy he spoke with his father. And then Vanetta had the cigar box and mentioned that the crowns were in them, and she didn't know if Poppy forgot about them or intentionally left them behind, which was a very Poppy thing to do if it was intentional.
Yeah.
And then Tawny mentioned like, oh, I've never seen them before. And she was like excited, and Castile opened the box, and Tawny like flowered over them. And she's like, oh my God, these are so beautiful. I would wear them all day and all night, and I would sleep in them if these were my crowns. Which I thought was hilarious and very Tawny. And then Cass thinks to himself, I haven't fucked Poppy yet while she's wearing this crown. And I'm like, do you think of anything else? Like, is she nothing to you except for a thing to bang
A
and something that's
fuckhole?
powerful? Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just that. Like, she is more than that, Cass. Like,
Yeah.
and this is depicting men in the way that, like, we think of men stereotypically.
Yes.
Like, all you think about is sex. All you think of, like, this is showing
Yep.
that that's the case. And that's
Yeah,
like unfair to the men out here that like
aren't that
people
way.
for themselves and also can get horny sometimes, but aren't
Yeah.
only about sex. So
I also thought this was funny. So Tawny's like, oh my gosh, they're so pretty, blah blah blah. And then when she's like, wait, are they real bones? And Kieran's like, yeah.
yes.
And I was like, she's like, whose bones? I'm like, that's a very fair question, Tawny.
Yes.
Like, why
Yeah.
did I not think about that until
Why
this very
have we
moment?
not- And I think that they're going to learn something about them. I
Oh,
think that this is going to
100%.
be
Yes.
huge. I can't believe that
Mhm.
we're like, oh, these are just bones, and we've never
Right?
questioned
Never
that
gave
to
it a
this
thought.
time. Like,
I know.
that-
And Kieran is like, oh yeah, they're thought to be the bones of a god. I'm sorry. What? Like,
how
what?
in the F? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Yep. And then it adds, or it could be a primal. I'm like, seems like a pretty big bomb to just drop,
Yeah.
but okay.
Yes, that's
Moving
exactly
on, I
And
guess.
this is where she says they only reveal their true appearance
Yes.
when it did. So I'm like, I questioned back in A Crown of Gilded Bones
You did.
why they were gold, and no one questioned it. No one answered me. No one knew. No one seemed to be like, why are these crowns suddenly gold all of a sudden? And I'm like, I was very happy to finally get my answer.
You're like, this is something.
I've
and
been
everyone's just
waiting
like,
a whole fucking book for this.
I didn't even notice. We're like, what's gold gilded mean, dude?
Yeah, I didn't even know what fucking gilded meant. So
I thought about
I have
you
so many
because
caps in this sentence. Finally, we got
finally. I love that it said gold. It specifically said the bones
Yeah.
were gold here.
I
And I was
feel like
like,
it was for me. Jennifer's like, I got you, Katie.
I thought
Gotta
it
fucking
was
spell it out. Apparently.
hilarious.
Oh.
So
gosh.
yeah, Tawny asked what the bones are made out of. So It's interesting because if I think about the fact that these are somebody's bones, they either have to be that somebody died and they just like, oh, I guess we'll use her bones, which is probably unlikely, or somebody was sacrificed unwillingly to have their bones made into this crown, or they were willing, like, I don't know, like willingly. You know how there was the germs that would like in death sacrifice them to like the gods?
Yeah.
Like maybe something like that where somebody could be like, I don't know, this is where I want to see. I don't know. It just seems messed up that the crown of Atlantia
does.
is bones of somebody. Like it's a
It
very
really
bad
does.
omen.
Yeah.
I
A primal
feel.
god. I'm like, you're kind of
Yeah.
tempting the fates there, my guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally
I always
agree.
thought there were bones in like appearance, like it was metaphorical.
Yeah, same.
Not
Yeah,
literal.
Like
kind of,
crafted
yes.
So-
bones, like not literal ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
it was
I'd
a
want
good
to wear a
question,
bone
Tawny.
crown
Why
on
did
my
I
head.
never think of that before?
Yes. So they are wearing their crowns and they're all turning gold. And Castile takes Poppy's hand and takes Kieran's hand. And then they're like standing in front of their like army, I guess. And Cass raises his hands and yells, "From blood and ash." And then Poppy finishes, "We have risen," which I
I got
thought was
chills.
really cool. I know. I was like, ooh, that was powerful.
Yes.
Mike and Rob.
Literally, I thought that the chapter was going to end there because I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
epic.
Yeah.
But we do turn to Poppy's POV at that point. So there's kind of like a change in scenery. So we kind of jump 2 days ahead-ish as they're traveling to the Bone Temple, and they say this happens pretty much without incident. There was a few Craven attacks with the generals, and they kind of like dealt with them
I
quickly.
thought of you both in this moment because you're always like, I want to know what happened in the 2 days.
Yes,
And Jennifer's
I'm
like, nothing happened. It's
yes,
okay.
it was not important. They got there.
Jennifer
Couple
like
Craven
held
attacks.
your hands and said, it's okay.
Appreciate
I'm like, this is exactly what I needed. Like, we don't need chapters upon it. Just this is how long it took. It was without incident. Moving
Just
on.
like the sex. We don't need it
Yes.
every chapter.
You guys are so funny.
It's almost like less is more, right? Like when there's a couple
Yes.
spicy scenes, it's like you can
look
enjoy
forward
it
to
more
You
because
build up that
yes,
tension.
it's not
You're
like,
like, yes, it's coming. I know it.
Yes.
More ways than one.
So I'm kind of like lottie-dying through the rest of this because I'm like, so Poppy.
To be
Cass
fair, Poppy
feed from
Lottie
each
dog
other.
through a lot of it.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, they kind of feed from each other, and because Cass is like strong enough now that he's like, yeah, it's okay, and she's like, yeah, it's okay, and they fall asleep. And I think they might also have sex, and it's like assumed,
They
but
talk
I
about
wasn't
the
sure.
dream too, like how
Yes.
So yes,
I
so
have
Poppy
feelings
wakes-
on this.
Yes, so she wakes from a dream that she's having trouble remembering. Does anybody have a quote? Because I'm
I
like,
have it.
hopefully we can read a quote here.
I have the whole thing.
But I
Do you
didn't
want me
go
to just
back.
read it? I copied and pasted it.
Yes, because I have thoughts about it too, and I think we all
'Kay.
probably.
So it says, we don't get many details, but she says, I only remembered bits and pieces of it. The back of a woman wearing a crown of black diamonds on her silvery hair. Silvery. Let's remember that. Sitting on a throne, much like the one I had seen at the Temple of Nyktos. She had been weeping. There was also a man with sandy blonde hair standing to her left. Something about him was so familiar. He had begun to turn and spoke just a word, but I woke before I could see his face. Still, the sadness of the dream gathered like the tart ale in my throat. The woman had been the consort. I knew it. And the man, he had felt like Victor. But even before he was Victor, why would I have seen him with the consort? That didn't make sense. Slowly, I became aware, blah, blah, blah. But
Did Victor have sandy blonde hair though?
okay, when I first read that, I'm like, is it Callum? Is
Me
this
too.
Callum? I
Me
was like,
too.
oh
I wondered
my
if it was her
God.
dad.
I thought the same thing. And then when she said, "Oh, it's Victor," I was like, "Oh,
Well, he
Well,
felt
she
like
said
Victor.
It felt like
that's
Victor.
true."
Yeah.
How was
I
her
was
dad
thinking Callum
described?
too.
Like
I don't
Leopold.
remember.
I don't either.
Because like
Let's see
Victor was
if
always
I
a
can
father figure to her. So
research
in theory, they could
this.
feel the same.
I know. My first thought
That's
before it
true.
said
They-
Victor, I was
good
like,
call.
Leopold?
It could
And
be the
then,
same, and they would be arguably really old Victors. Like, who knows how long they could live for, right?
I found his description. It doesn't match.
This is Victor
Physically-
to Leopold.
This is Leopold. physically, he has striking green eyes and a russet red-brown hair. He is known to be a gentle demeanor, quiet, blah, 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 blah.
What's
So-
Victor? He didn't have sandy hair, did he? And I
feel like
could
he
have, but I
did.
pictured him with black hair. Like,
I'm like, Katie, I know you looked this up because of some reason I can't remember, but I don't remember.
The dagger eyes. He has
Yes,
blue eyes. We
yes,
know this.
yes.
The dagger. Because I was like, oh my God, he was a wolven. I was pretty sure on that. He has striking pale wintry blue eyes and is described as a prickly bastard by Castile. Thank you, Google Gemini. I want to see if it mentions his hair color.
it might say it very early in the first book because doesn't she talk to him because he walks in at the red pearl?
Sandy blonde hair and a sun-weathered
Oh.
face. So yes,
So it very well
blonde.
could be
Yes.
him.
Yep.
Because my only thought here was that he had the wolven dagger. Maybe he could have met with the consort and that she actually put all of this into motion and she maybe was the one that gave
Ooh.
him direction to become Poppy's Victor, maybe?
Which
And
is how
or
Victor
maybe she
knows
put this
everything.
into motion to save her two sons. Like I don't know.
Ooh.
But
That was
why
my
is
only-
her
I like that
crown
theory.
black diamonds? I
Well,
was really stuck on this.
Could it be at first I thought because I couldn't remember what the blood crown looked like and I was when listening because it's rubies I think now
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I've read
Mhm.
this but I thought maybe she was the original. Did we already know that? Was she already like who was before the blood crown? Because I was thinking maybe she ruled Solis but whatever Solis was before the blood crown was there. But
I don't know if we
I don't
know.
no.
I was thinking the black diamonds when I was first reading it. I'm like, oh my God, this is the true primal of death. It's a woman. Like, that's what I thought it was going to be.
Ooh.
But
I apparently lottie-dawed over the black diamonds.
I was
I
very
didn't-
stuck on these black diamonds.
I thought in the moment, I was like, oh, this is the blood crown. Because I couldn't remember what the blood crown was. But I think at the end, it says ruby in the blood
Yeah.
crown.
Yes,
I was
it
like, oh,
does.
shit.
Yeah.
It's not. Though you reading it right now, I'm like, oh, well, there goes that theory.
Yeah.
That's funny. No, black diamonds.
Black diamonds.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
What color are the diamonds on the sand they go to? In Iliseeum.
Ooh.
It's diamonds all over the
Oh.
sand.
Was it black? I
I'll
kind of
Google
feel
it.
like it was black diamonds.
I know it was diamonds.
Now that you say that.
Let's see. Anyway,
Anyway.
if y'all
Okay.
notice why my headphones look weird, it's because Katie's headphones died and I had to change them. Sorry, friends. For all of our video listeners, for our audio listeners, you will know no difference.
You will notice nothing.
I'm sorry, I forget where we were, friends. That's
Nope.
my bad.
I have a marked on my thingy bobber here.
Beautiful.
So, as Poppy comes to more of a wakefulness after this dream, she realizes that she is in bed and she is snuggling and intertwined close to Castile. And she also realizes that there is Kieran there as well. And his arms and legs are kind of intertwined as well. So I was like, I guess this answers my question of,
I
are
know.
they going to share a bed and sleep in it together now?
My note here was made up.
Yep.
Here's
The
your
answer
answer on your sleeping
is
arrangements.
Yes. Yes is the answer. And yes. That's
My
all.
note
That's
says,
all, folks.
Poppy fully wakes up, realizes that the three of them are all tangled together in sleep because, of course, they are.
Because of course. Why the hell not at this
Right?
point? And Poppy mentions that this is the first time that Kieran has slept in his non-mortal form in the bed with her, with the exception of the time that she asked him if he would put her in the ground if she lost control. Which I kind of don't remember that they slept in the same bed together as
I
like,
thought he was
mortal.
in his wolven form, woke up, they had that conversation, and then I guess I just assumed he shifted back, but maybe he didn't.
Nah.
No, I don't
Nah,
think
they
he did.
was Snuggletown.
Well,
Well,
I
they
mean,
didn't say they
obviously we
snuggled, but-
know.
Yeah, obviously not. So with the way that Poppy was talking about them all being entangled, and like she was starting to like get like hot and bothered by the way she was talking. Like she kept going back to like, oh, that one time when I forget where they were, but she kept talking about like where they were at
Wisteria
with the
Woods or
joining.
whatever.
Yeah, she's like, oh, at this, I remember this, and blah blah blah. I'm like, we're gonna get a 3-way right now, and I was like, oh god, it's gonna become like the new way that they just have sex, and it didn't happen, thankfully.
Can I read my
But
note?
yeah, I was
here?
gonna say before we get
Yes.
into chapter's end, yeah, let's.
So I put, Poppy wonders if she would be able to knock herself out with a punch, and I'm wondering if I can do the same to myself so I can skip this part. Because I also thought it was going to a threesome.
Yes.
No!
I
I
was
want it!
Because if that happens, it officially normalizes that is the way the relationship is going.
Right.
Right? Because
Yes.
the joining was more like,
Yes.
okay, we knew
A
this was going to get
necessity.
intense and that they were going to just like get out of control and that's okay. And this is more like, I want this relationship to continue this way, which
Yep.
they're allowed to do, but I just don't want it for them.
Exactly. Doesn't mean that we have to like it
Yes.
for our
So-
reading experience.
So we will
If
see.
that's your kink, I am so fucking happy for you.
But not
Yeah, don't
happy for
sound
me. Not happy for me.
I'm
Happy
not
for
happy
you.
for me.
It's okay, friends.
Um,
I'm here for our listeners. I'm still here for the threesome.
Kristen's
It's
here
fine.
like, I'm good. Like, let's
I'm fine.
three-way it up, Kieran.
All the dicks.
All the appendages.
Why choose when you don't
intertwined.
have to?
Right? Look at that motto. Need to get that like as a sign behind you on your bookshelf. That's so funny. Okay, am I good to close off the chapter?
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
So, I just have a few more notes before it, so I'll go through them and then close off the chapter. So, Castile starts to kiss her. It sent a pulse of wanton pleasure. I love that it
Every
sounds like
time
it
that word
said
comes up now.
Yes, I'm like, ooh, I know what that means. And then I'm like, okay, well, they didn't bang. Both men were like, Poppy, go to sleep. So that was kind of nice that it was the men at this point that weren't all like, all we care about
Horny.
is sex. And they were actually like, okay, you need to get some sleep. Like, let's prioritize what we actually need here and not what you are hot and bothered for.
Wonton.
What you're wanton for. So chapter ends with Poppy, Castile, and Kieran all snuggling. Poppy was getting all hot and bothered with some wanton pleasure. And they convince her to go back to sleep and her eyes close and they all held hands and fell fast asleep together.
Yummy.
Yay!
I feel like it's supposed to
The
be
last
cute,
part to
so-
my note of that summary was barf.
They're just holding hands, Katie. It's okay.
Thank you.
Whenever it's funny, so like the kids have seen like the animals throw up, you know? So
Yes.
anytime any of us like pretends like something is disgusting or that like we talk about throwing up, we all act out like the, you know how like a dog's like, so
Yeah.
we'll do that. Like Jensen will be like, oh, mom, look, and it's gross. And I'm like, and the kids just all start losing it laughing. So like they do that now too. So like Oakley will be like, oh my gosh, mom, I was this. And then I was like, and she starts doing it. It's so funny. Like I know it's so dumb, but it's
so
freaking hilarious.
cute.
It's
I
funny.
love it. That's great.
All right. So, chapter 47. So we start the chapter with Poppy and the army cresting the Nile something
Niall sounds right.
valley, looking at Carcedonia, ready to make the deal and hand over Malec to Isbeth. And at this point, I don't know if Manda, it's you having an influence on me, or me just being super anticipating this battle. But I'm like, I'm feeling sus with everything. Like they didn't look at Malec in the casket. Like, what if he's not there? What if it's not Malec?
Yes.
What if it's Kolis? I'm like,
Yeah.
there should be war. I'm like, what if like Reaver's evil? He's been lying to them this whole time. What if it's Kolis in the tube? What if?
Yeah, like what if Reaver wanted this the whole time and it's evil?
I
Oh
was
my goodness.
falling down a very dark path.
That's what I do, and I'm like, why is my brain doing this? Like, yeah, honestly, yeah, I'm not gonna say much
Everything was
about that,
suspicious at the beginning for this.
but- and it also didn't help that we are not privy to the information of
Mhm.
what this plan is.
Right.
They're just like,
No.
oh, we're gonna go with the plan, and we're like, what's gonna happen?
What's
like, we have
the
no
fucking
idea.
plan?
Yes, exactly.
There was too many what ifs.
There are very many what ifs. So as I get closer to the rise, Poppy pushes her senses out to the guards that are holding their weapons, and she can tell that they are afraid, and she lets everybody know that they are feeling fear. And it was mentioned that during the War of Two Kings, I thought this was interesting, that the Atlanteans and the wolven have never traveled this far before. So
Mhm.
to a lot of these people in Macedonia, they had never actually seen wolven or seen
Mhm.
Atlantean. And if they had seen them, they didn't realize that they were what they were. So
Yes.
I think a lot of them, like, basically there's a lot of work that needs to be done after the fact in, like, changing the narrative to the reality of what Atlanteans are and wolvens
Yeah.
are. So, like, that was kind of the fear there, is that they knew that they were coming, and they're so afraid because of what Poppy was led to believe too, right?
Mhm.
About them.
Right.
And I
I
thought it
kind
was
of forgot
interesting
about
mentioning
that too, because do you remember in the first book, like Poppy had snuck down to read that book, and she was reading about like the wolven and stuff, and like how they were like terrible creatures of the night
Yeah.
and like all this stuff, and I'm like, I forgot that that's what
Yes.
we thought of them at first, and that's
It
obviously what
makes-
all these people think.
It makes me think of that time when Lord Asshole killed that lady, and they were like, we were like, oh my God, it was an Atlantean, the way that was like
Yeah.
viciously,
Yes.
like we just thought, because that's how we were told that the Atlanteans were like bad, right? And
Like the
it
bad
just-
of the bad. Yeah.
Yes. And it's just very interesting that we were even believing those things
Yes.
at that
Right.
time. So that's like the mindset of these people.
It'd be
Mhm.
so interesting to like read book 1 again and
It
like
would
knowing what we
be,
know now. Like,
yes.
How they're talked about, and even just like things about the Duke and Duchess and
yes.
and the Ascended. Like, I think that there'll be things that are pointed out that we're like, oh my
Mhm.
God, like they're
Mhm.
evil.
Evil.
Evil. Evil. Yeah. So the Bone Temple was standing in front of them at this point, just beyond the rise, I believe. Or just on the outside of the rise, very close to it, either way. They had said that it held the bodies of the entombed priests and priestesses, meaning the ones that have already died then?
That's
Like-
how I took it. It was like
Yes.
like a
like a
mausoleum
graveyard for them or whatever,
kind of
like
thing.
whatever you call it. Yeah. It is mentioned that Isbeth had brought forces with her. No. Oh my gosh. I know what I'm trying to say here, and it's not that. Isbeth mentions that they had brought forces with them, and she was saying like
Should I
that
be
she wasn't
concerned?
surprised, but yes, exactly. Like, should I
Yeah.
be concerned that you're doing this? And Poppy says something along the lines of like, you should always be concerned, or something along those lines.
I have a couple notes
yeah.
before that. Can I jump
Go
in
ahead.
for a sec here?
Yes, please.
So as they're approaching the temple, Isbeth has actually brought has a guard of her own. They make note of it, and Poppy like confirms it's mortals, ascended, and revenants. And
Oh,
I forget
yes.
who it is, but someone's like, "Oh, that's so like very
Diverse,
diverse of her."
Kieran.
Yes.
Was it Kieran? I thought
Yeah.
that was funny. And
It
then
was.
when they go to dismount, like to go bring the casket to Isbeth, like Sven calls out to them and is like, "Be careful!" And then Poppy like adds, "But be brave." And Hazel like looks at her, and I was like, "Oh, that's such a throwback!" And I love it.
love that quote,
So
honestly.
So I just wanted to make sure that got in there.
Yes. Freaking
They also
love it.
give Malec a sword. And I'm like,
Oh,
he's
yes!
gonna have
I
a
didn't
sword
write
this
that down,
time?
but that was so
So
funny. He's like,
He's like,
"Thank you
"Jesus."
for giving me the
Funny.
bare fucking minimum."
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally what he says, the bare minimum.
I loved
it was
it.
great.
So my notes just about what's going on here in this moment is like, I feel like obviously there's a plan in place that we don't know about. Because I feel like every time there has been a meeting with the Blood Crown has had the upper hand.
Yes.
And in every one of those situations, we've known what the plan is. So I'm almost feeling like maybe as readers, the
Mhm.
fact that we don't know what the plan is maybe a good sign that the Blood
Oh.
Crown maybe isn't one step ahead. So now we don't know the plan. So we're going to be surprised in what we read because we don't know it, but hopefully
Mhm.
it's going to be good versus being the surprise that, oh shit,
Yes.
like they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're pretty well face to face with the Blood Crown at this point, and we don't know what the plan is, I felt that like the Blood Crown was not going to have the upper hand here.
Yeah.
I
I also
also
noticed
Go ahead.
at one point like Kieran is shielding his emotions from Poppy. Like,
Yes.
do
Yes.
we know?
Okay.
Like, I'm
so
like, when did this
I
is the
have the
first time we're learning
context
this,
for
right?
that. I have the context for that because I was also sus of this.
Yeah, I
So
remember.
Cass comes over to her and is like, "When we are done with this, you're gonna get the ring you want, and I'm gonna get to fuck you in the armor like I want." And Kieran like kind of scoffs, and Cass goes, "Well, it's not like you weren't thinking it." And then Kieran and Poppy's eyes both go really wide, and Poppy tries to read Kieran, and she can sense that he's shielding, and she says,
Mhm.
"I get a fleeting, sharp, heavy emotion from him," and then like it's gone behind the shield. I'm like,
Yeah.
I took that as he was like, yeah, I want to bang her. And he was like embarrassed or something and didn't
But
want
like
her
he's
to know.
shielding his
Sharp and
emotions.
heavy? like heavy. What would be
I
heavy?
don't
Like
know.
heavy, I think like sad.
Maybe
I wonder if it's maybe like guilt, like not guilt necessarily, but like this is my friend's heartmate. Like I shouldn't be thinking these things.
Yeah, maybe.
But
Yeah,
like, they
I
already
only
did
took
do
it
that
in. Yeah.
thing.
You wet blanket.
I'm more concerned with the fact, like, he's shielding his emotions. Like, did we know? Because Pop, in the first few books, it's always like, oh, this is their emotion. It must be like what they're actually feeling. And then we realize that, they can project different
Alistair
emotions.
could-
But like,
yeah. Mhm.
to actual shield your emotions, like, I don't think we know. Kieran has done this
Valen
before.
could. Kieran hasn't, but Valen was also always shielding his emotions.
We knew
but
Valen, but I don't think
Kieran-
we've ever known that Kieran
Correct.
can
Yeah.
shield his emotions from
No.
her.
No.
And it's kind of interesting because the whole point of the joining is like to become one, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
that they're joined, he's like hiding something, which I think maybe it's out of embarrassment or shame or whatever it is in this moment. But it's just interesting because it's kind of like
Yeah.
that's the whole point of the joining is to be like that oneness.
Or maybe Kieran's like, you know what, we need to focus on battle, not fucking our queen.
Right, Castillo? Like I'm trying to keep my mind.
Being a good advisor.
Yeah.
I can give him some advice.
I don't know why, but I randomly was speculating here and maybe just being wishful thinking that Ian was going to come back. And I was like, maybe I'm going to be shocked because like
Oh.
Ian is going to, I don't know, not be dead, but that didn't happen.
That would have been nice.
So I don't know who, but somebody said to somebody, remember the plan. I think to Malec. He's saying, like, don't do anything that's going to jeopardize this. And I said, this is your moment to, like, not fuck us over. And I think it was Kieran or somebody that says, at least you have a sword. Okay, yes. And that's when he's like, oh, you're giving me the bare minimum. But they're basically saying to Malec, like, this is your time to, like, show your allegiance at this point.
Mhm.
Like, do not fuck over what's going on right now. Or, like, you're going to be sending a statement. This is your moment to,
Mhm.
like, pick your true allegiance. And she says to Kieran, like she says verbally to him, like, you're shielding your emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he denies it. And he's like, no, I'm not. So like, that's also interesting that he says,
Well,
I'm
it
not
says
doing
like
this.
his expression, like to me personally, I read that as like, oh, I like, because he says, I would never do such a thing. He replied, his expression, one of pure innocence. So I'm reading it as like, I would never do that. Like
Got you.
jokingly is how
Yes,
I read it. I don't
not
know
like
how it was
a like
said.
straight up lie. It
No.
probably was, to be honest. Because
then she's like,
I assume
uh-huh.
he's feeling lust and horniness, and he's shielding that because, yeah. So as they climb the steps, Castile stops and looks to Poppy and said, remember what we told you in Avimond? And I was like, what were we told? Like, oh my God, what is this? And she's also like, what was I told? And this is when they, both him and Kieran are saying to her, like, you are fearless, you are like brave, and like you run from nothing, basically. And then she was like, felt empowered in that moment, was like, you are right. Like, I am not afraid. This is like my time and I can do this, which I thought was awesome that happened. So Poppy notices Millie and she describes her with her pale, dull hair that's covering her, then her face is covered, and mentions that Millie is not shadowing her emotions from her. And she wonders why Millie doesn't like Malec, but also is noticing that she is worrying for him and can tell that she is making a point to actually like look him out and find him in the crowd there, which was like we talked about, like super interesting, like what's going on there. And it would be so interesting if Millie doesn't even understand, right? If her memory was wiped and she's like, I don't like this guy, but like I still care. It's like the heartmate in her can't not
Is
care about
searching for
him, right?
Yeah.
But she's like doesn't even understand herself why. I really hope that turns into something.
Yeah.
And the Blood Queen mentions that they
So,
look go ahead.
Before that, sorry.
Mhm.
Callum is also there, and he's described again as golden as the sun itself. And I'm like, it's interesting the imagery here, because I'm like, okay, if we go with Callum being like part of the evil, the big bad, but he's a golden like the sun. So I'm like, typically, I would assume, like, I think it's pretty typical, life, gold, bright, shiny, death, dark, bad. I'm like, so this is when I was I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sus again. Like, is the primal of life actually the bad one and the primal of death is good? Like, is there an upset balance because so many deaths have happened and the primal of life is now trying to do something because Callum's description is not aligning with one typically of a death imagery.
But
really
if you remember towards the end of this book, which I thought was interesting because there's a huge info fucking dump, but it is mentioned that Kolis actually steals the primal of life power, and he they kind of like trade by the sounds of it. I don't know.
It is
But
quite
Nyktos
confusing.
becomes like the
Yes.
primal of death, not Nyktos, Ethos, but he is left with like a kernel, which is what he ends up giving to the
Mhm.
consort. But like, so maybe it is, Kristen. Maybe that does still mean that he's bad, but technically he's the primal of life or has the powers of
Yes.
that. So it kind of all goes in together.
The imagery here was like not lining up, and I had
Yeah.
to point it out.
Yeah.
So I think that there's more to Callum than being a revenant in the same way I think there's more to Millie than being a revenant. Like they've
Yeah.
always been like different. Is there a possibility, like is there a god of the sun? And could that be Callum? And could Millie be a god but not a primal? But she can't be a god because that's what they were hoping she'd become. Or were they hoping she'd become a primal?
What if
I still like our theory that Callum is going to end up being Kolis. Not maybe in the literal sense, but maybe that's like the flesh and bone body he ends up taking
Mhm.
when he gets power.
Probably, actually. Interesting.
I feel like I
Go
read
ahead.
something that kind of spoils it, and I don't want to read it in case I don't want to say it in case what I read is true.
Oh
but
no!
I'm like, I feel like there's another option, and you guys aren't there yet.
That's
Don't
okay.
know.
Don't say it. Don't
I'm
say
not
it.
gonna
Don't
say it.
Don't say it.
Okay, so the Blood Queen mentions, and we kind of talked about this, that they are dressed for battle. Poppy said you should always be surprised. She wants proof, so she says, like, "Okay, we're here. Like, lift the curse."
Mhm.
And the Blood Queen says, "I want proof that Malec is in fact alive," which is interesting because what does
that
it
wasn't part of the
matter?
bargain.
Yes,
And
it wasn't. I was thinking that too.
because I remember being devils in the details. She just said, "Return Malec to me." She never said alive. But
And
anyway.
it's so interesting if the plan is to sacrifice him, which I know it wasn't originally the plan, but now it's the plan.
Mhm.
Like, if Poppy were to have killed him, let's just say, would that have like woken Kolis, or does it have to be the Blood Queen because she did some sort of ritual to make it happen?
They're at a temple though, aren't they? So I wonder if it had to be at
It had
that
to be, like,
temple.
Like
there.
a sacrificial rite
yes.
kind of deal.
Yes.
So yeah, she wants proof. Oh, she mentioned like I think the last time they talked to the Blood Queen that like feeding him blood would make him come alive or whatever, and they were like, "How do you know?" And she's like, "Oh, I know it will, just for a fact." And it's like, why
Yeah.
even go through all that if that wasn't?
Right.
It just seemed weird, unless the plan at that time still was to sacrifice Poppy and that she hadn't fully changed her mind yet. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or she
that's
was
kind of
just
the vibe I was
lying.
getting. Like it was a spur of the moment. Like when she saw him and she's like, you know, like you would understand, like, you know how much
Yeah.
I loved our son, you would understand. Like I feel like
Because like, this is my daughter. Kind
I
of.
Yeah.
took it as like the moment she said, "Oh, lift the curse, like bring back Malec, that'll lift the curse." To me, is where that switch in her brain happened. If
Me too.
I get
'Cause
Malec
Callum,
back, I can kill him and then save Poppy.
because think of Callum's reaction. He's like, "This isn't part of the plan," because
Yeah.
the plan was to use Poppy. So he's like, "Why are you sending Poppy away
Yes.
to get Malec?" I think you're right that was the moment that she's kind of twisting what they were
Yeah.
supposed to do, because Callum seemed really shocked, like,
Mhm.
and made a point to say, "This is not what we had discussed." So she needs proof that Malec is in fact alive. So Poppy motions to one of the wolven, and they speak about Malec, and she says that she says he's asleep, and this is where she was like, he would need to drink some blood to wake him. Nothing else would be able to wake him. And she said that you will believe.
And
you
Millie's
believe that.
moving forward too.
almost
It mentions
against her will, I wrote down.
Yeah.
Like she's
tensing.
like very tense in her movements, and
Mhm.
Poppy can sense like major concern radiating off of her. And I read it as if like Isbeth is moving, so Millie is forced to move. Like they are tied. Like that's
Ooh.
I took it as like she wants to go talk to Poppy or say something to Poppy, but like she's trying to not get the Blood Queen's attention. Like she's very like
to be inconspicuous
yeah.
about it.
so you thought she was moving like away from the queen kind of deal?
yeah, like I took her as like moving like kind
Oh,
of towards
interesting.
Poppy, like coming to like speak or say something or do something.
Oh, see, I
And
read it as if like she was
Yeah.
almost being forced to follow Isbeth. That's how I
Hmm.
took it. Interesting.
Do you think, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but do you think that Millie knew that the intention was to sacrifice Poppy?
I don't know.
think so.
Do you think she knew that plan?
I hope not.
And do you think that, because she didn't really seem like she was trying to stop it. And I mean, I'm saying that obviously not knowing things. Like, she obviously was trying to help a bit by the things that she was saying, but I don't know. I felt Millie was acting very strange near the end. And like, she's like, well, I didn't know this. I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. Like, she seemed really like rattled that things weren't going as what she was like told was going to happen. And I don't, it was very strange to me. And I was really rushing the last 2 chapters, and like, just because like I was home with the kids and stuff, and I was like, so I think I may have like missed a few things too, but I found it very like, I couldn't tell. I'm like, is she bad? Is she not bad? Like,
I kind of understood, like, my perception is that like she kind of maybe knew, and that's why maybe she's giving these hints like, where is this one? Where is Reaver? Like, where, you know, here's the prophecy that you don't know. Like, she's kind of giving them hints where she can, because she can't outright help them, or like she knows Isbeth can like actually kill her.
yes.
And she kind of wants to be, I feel like we kind of get hints that she wants to be free. So I think she knows, and she's trying to do like little things that she can get away
Like
with
subtle
to help
nods.
them. Yeah.
It's also strange though that she would tell Castile that Poppy would die at her hands. It like, because she acted as if she thought Poppy was the harbinger and that Castile would have to kill her, or that she would like, you know, and obviously that wasn't the plan from Isbeth's perspective, right? So it's also, I'm
but
like,
the
oh, like, is
plan
that what Millie thought? But like, did Millie
too.
know that part though? Like, did
Like,
Millie
at
think
that point,
that?
I don't think the plan changed though. When Millie knew that the plan was to sacrifice Poppy, or when the plan was to sacrifice Poppy, like, Isbeth hadn't changed to Malec yet. And I wonder if it's almost maybe that specific might be like, Millie is saying that to Cass to get him thinking, not necessarily that it's true, but like, she's like, if I tell him this, it might set him down this path kind of deal.
So you think that Millie said that to Castile knowing it wasn't true, but in hopes that it would get him thinking?
I think it's a possibility. I don't know for sure, but like,
Gotcha.
It's a possibility.
It sure is. Or was it here? Okay, so Poppy grabs the ring and puts it on top of the casket, which they
And she
then
knows the fucking horse again.
Yes.
Yes, I have that on here. So but they mention the horse again. She says, my finger slid past the horse to grab the ring.
Like,
and
why does this horse keep getting brought up? This horse haunts my dreams.
It's
The
so
fuck?
random to the point that it can't be random.
It can't be random. It
No,
can't.
it can't be
Like,
random.
it can't.
Like, why is it still in her pocket? At
I
this
don't
point?
know.
Like, Cass
And
is
why hasn't she
back,
given it back
like-
to Cass? It's weird.
Yes. Totally agreed. Okay, so Millie is now with Poppy. Does anybody else have notes prior to that happening before
No,
I ramble
don't
on
know
about
where
this?
we are.
She asks where Reaver
Oh,
was.
yes. Go ahead.
And I think that it's Kieran that says to Millie, like, are you worried about the draken? And she said, no, but you should be, because the blood crown has an asked and isn't worried about your draken, then like you need to be concerned because they clearly like obviously know what the draken is or what have you.
Right.
Which was interesting because I don't think that they did know. Like, I just don't think that they thought they were a threat at this point.
This was when I
But-
was
but
like,
Isbeth
is she
knows.
not worried about the draken because Reaver's on Isbeth's side?
Yeah.
I was scared.
Ooh. Oh, I never even considered that at this moment. I was just like, I thought, okay, the queen knows where they are.
Nope.
But it's just interesting that Millie says this because it almost seemed like a fact. Like, she knew that the queen knew, but she
Mhm.
was almost just being logical. Like, look, the queen hasn't asked, so like that's a concern. The
Right.
queen hasn't this. Like, she knows the queen well enough
Mhm.
that if she
Like-
doesn't act concerned about something, it's because she's got the upper hand and she knows
Yes.
that it's
Yeah.
not an issue.
And then I was like, oh no, where's Reaver? And like, even later when the draken first entered the battle, like, Reaver's not with the original set. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no, where's Reaver?
Yes.
And
it was
but I
like,
wasn't sus of Reaver. I thought they hurt Reaver. I thought Reaver was like killed. That's what I thought.
something bad had happened.
I like
Yeah.
that better.
Yeah.
I wish I would have thought that way.
Okay, also she said, nor did she mention that you are 50,000 less after you crossed the valley. Millicent mentioned, I was confused about this. Did we know
Yeah, because
That they were-
50,000
Yeah.
people stayed back with
those were the how many stayed
with
back?
Vanetta,
Okay, with Vanetta
yeah.
and that? Okay.
Yeah.
So the Blood Crown is aware that they're 50,000 less. That's what Poppy's insinuating. Isbeth had a strong sense. So she opens the casket And there's a strong sense of agony and emotion that rips through Poppy, which is coming from Isbeth as she looks onto Malec, if I'm saying that right, instead of Malec. And then Isbeth starts talking in a language that Poppy does not understand. And
I have one note before this. Sorry,
Yep,
can I just jump in?
Yep.
Poppy locks eyes with Millicent, and like she's like, I know, like meaning that she knows that they're sisters.
Why did I not notice that? Wow.
And Millie's lips twitch, and she says, then you should know that there is something very wrong about all of this. And I was like, that is hella ominous. Like, what the hell? But
it is because why? Because you know that. Why should you know? Like, why does that knowledge mean
like,
that
what
you should
about
know?
them being sisters means that something's very wrong about all of this?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't like it.
Which makes me feel like maybe she does know about the sacrifice and she knows it has to do with bloodlines, but I don't think that Millie knew about the sacrifice. I think she actually thought that Poppy was going to be the harbinger.
And like, would we really put it past Isbeth to lie to her daughter? Because I definitely wouldn't. So she's probably
for
like,
sure she
we're
would.
not going to kill her. No
Yeah.
way.
Because if she says that to Millie, then she's admitting to Millie, I was going to do that to you.
Literally,
and then
yes.
it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So now we got to do another one. Like,
Guess I'm stuck with you.
yeah.
Like,
oh my
yeah.
gosh. It's crazy that she would have a son and be so devastated that
Yes.
the son was killed to think, well, I'll just have more children and sacrifice them to
Literally.
get my revenge.
Literally.
Yeah.
I
fucked
did
up.
think though that like I thought that she was going to do some sort of sacrifice ritual to bring her son back. And I was kind of thinking, if she thinks that Kolis is the whatever of death, was she trying to get Kolis back so that she could resurrect her son from the dead? Like, I was kind of thinking, is this whole reason
the
she
whole
wants
point was
Kolis
to bring him back.
to
I would
get
not
him
put it
back?
past
Yeah.
her.
No, I wouldn't put
But-
it past her either.
I mean, I guess we won't find out at this point, but
'Cause she's
I don't think that
like a
seems.
freight train
Yeah.
gone like
I don't know.
yesterday.
I don't know. Okay, so Isbeth starts talking into like a language that Poppy doesn't understand, and then Kieran advised that it's old Atlantean. Castile then interrupts her as she's saying whatever she's saying and says like, okay, hold up your end of the bargain. We've done our piece. So Callum goes up to Kieran and asks to see the mark on his arm. He is surprised that the mark is gone.
I was really worried when Callum was coming forward. Like, I know now it's to like lift the curse, but like,
But at first, you're
I
like,
was
oh,
really,
shit.
I'm like, okay, do they actually have a plan to get the upper hand for once? Like, are they thinking they can get Isbeth distracted while she's looking at Malec, which also very gross description. And I was very worried because I'm like, the one person who seems to be able to get the upper hand on you every time is now approaching you, and no one seemed concerned.
No one's worried here. So what's his name? Callum says that he is surprised that the mark is gone. He says it shouldn't be gone.
Which
Poppy
is
is wondering
interesting.
if that, because I don't think that the curse was gone. Like, I almost wonder if the curse was in him still, but was dormant almost, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, the magic was there, but it wouldn't have killed him,
Because like
perhaps.
Callum seemed
Yeah.
to insinuate that he knew they had gone through the joining, and I didn't write it down, but he makes notes similar to like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, anything I do to him is not going to hurt him, right? Like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Like, he's
Yeah.
tied to your life kind of deal now. And so like he seemingly knows about the joining, but yet is still surprised that the mark is gone. Like, that's
it's
sus
kinda
to me.
weird.
That's
Yeah.
sus to me.
So, yes, he said that the mark shouldn't be gone. Poppy's wondering what that means for the joining and if it worked or not. But Callum still cuts into Kieran's arm.
With a
And
white
the black-
dagger.
Was it that the same way
Ooh.
before?
Yes,
Do you
it
know?
is described as a white dagger. And I'm like, what is that made out of?
Interesting.
Milky white stone.
Interesting.
So I was
Very
like,
interesting.
I did not catch that.
I'm like, what does this mean? And why is it not explained?
It's got to be significant too. So there was black smokiness of the curse that flew out of his blood. So in that moment, Poppy was questioning if that meant that the joining would not have saved him. But she does make a comment that basically they will never find out, and that at this point it really doesn't matter. They know now that the curse has for sure been lifted one way or the other, and that Kieran is safe from that for now. Kieran says thank you to Callum, but also stabs him and kills him, but doesn't actually kill him because he's a revenant. And at first I was like, oh my God, Shadowstone, but that doesn't kill them, right? It has to be like draken.
Yeah.
And
So
I
was
love
like,
Millie.
oh.
She's like, the sight of that never gets old. She's like, next time go for his
Amazing.
head.
Yes.
So good. So good. So Poppy asks Kieran how he feels, like if he's feeling fine. And then Millie snaps weirdly and was like, he is fine. Like, just look at, unlike our queen who looks like she's about to jump into the casket. And like in the audiobook, it was like I thought something shit was going down. She's like, he's fine. Like, look at our queen though. And I'm like, relax, Millie. And I felt like it was really anticlimactic because, I mean, we know that Isbeth like stabs him, but I don't know. It seemed really weird at the
Do you
time. I'm
think
like, oh my
Millie
God.
sensed that what Isbeth was about to do, and that's why she's like,
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, yeah, it was very like sudden.
maybe to her it is like,
Mhm.
holy fuck, we need to stop this.
Yeah.
But she
Yeah.
didn't maybe know why entirely. I don't know.
So then Isbeth starts saying how had Niktos allowed them to go through the trials, like none of this would have happened, that they would have just like gone. The Castiel said like, oh, what, you would have just ruled over Atlantia? And she's like, no, like we would have gone somewhere, traveled the realms and found a place to call our own, lived out our days there together with our children. And I thought it was interesting she said children, not son. So assuming
Yeah.
that there would have been more children with just
Yeah.
them two. Isbeth says to Malec, whatever one's her love. I love you now just as much as I loved you then when I first saw you, when we first locked eyes in the rose garden. And I felt that was like significant, that like, what relevance does it have when you first locked eyes with your heartmate?
Yeah.
And I was like, are they going to say something about a rose garden again? Like, is this going to mean something?
Where wasn't it in a rose garden that's not where Poppy met Cass. Like they were the guard, but what was that garden that Poppy liked back in Macedonia?
It was the
Was it
night blooming
roses?
flowers.
Night
No,
blooming
it was the night
flowers.
blooming
Never mind.
flowers.
Okay.
But still, it's floral.
Just hit me, and I'm like,
Still
Yeah.
a floral connection.
But it just seems strange. Like, if she's just going to
To
say, I love
mention
you,
it.
you don't have to say, oh, when we locked eyes at this place is when we
Right.
first fell in
Like, it's
love.
highly
Yeah.
Like,
specific for
Yeah.
some reason, right?
Mhm.
Like, yeah.
yeah. So the
we don't
queen
know the plan,
kiss-
but we know where they met.
Yeah.
Yes, right? Exactly. Like, this is the information we get. So the queen kisses Malec, whatever one we are
Malec.
trying to talk about, Malec. And I think it's Emil whispers, that's really disgusting.
Yeah.
And I literally laughed out loud.
Yes.
And then Castile, I believe, says, fuck boy is awake. Is that what he calls him?
Kieran says it.
Kieran. I'm assuming he's talking about Callum, which was
Yeah.
really funny. She said it was a sign that it was time. I think this is Millie saying this, that Callum woke up.
No, Cass winks at Poppy and it's kind of signaling
Yeah.
that it's
Oh,
time
that's
back.
the-
like for their
Yeah.
plan,
Yeah.
whatever
Because
it
they
is
were
that we
going
don't
to
know.
stab her and kill her.
Got you.
Because they start to move towards Isbeth and then
Yes.
Yeah.
So
That's when she starts
Poppy starts
walking.
searching through the Notum to find Sage's imprint of fresh rain. And then Isbeth is talking to Malec, saying how you must know how much I love you. And then she goes, that's why you have to understand. And I'm like, oh my God, is she going to kill him right now? Maybe
called
they
that.
could. Oh my gosh, she might kill him because the consort won't wake unless they come home. If she kills him, would that make sure that the consort never wakes? Would she possibly do that to her heartmate? Just to stop the consort? Anyways, you know how much I loved our son and how it cannot be like this and it cannot be any other way. Maybe she can bring her son back. Oh, this is where I go into that theory. By sacrificing Malec bleh, with some primal magic. And maybe this whole thing is about the primal of death being resurrected so that she can then resurrect her son. And she knew the only way that she could do that was by this primal magic in killing her son's father and bringing him back. So she did kill him. And she does mention her son. This is
I
going
had to
have-
laugh at this because my note after she stabs him in the chest, I was like, I wrote in my notes, I'm like, what the actual fuck? And then Cass literally repeats that word for word in the next line. I'm like, I agree, Castile. Yes.
You're like validated in that 100%.
I laughed.
Yeah.
So everyone was surprised except for Callum, who is the only
Yep.
one that is not surprised.
And him
I said,
smiling.
oh my
like a
God,
creepy
is he
fucka.
somehow her son in limbo? Which I don't think so anymore. So yet again, nobody knows what the fuck is going on. So it looks like the Blood Crown did have the upper hand. Great.
Right.
Yeah.
Kolis then said thank you to Poppy. I believe I had a hard
Callum.
time here. So what did
Callum.
I say?
Kolis.
It's funny because my notes say Colin. So
Oh, that's
But-
funny.
I had a hard time in the audiobook. Again, I was like doing my best to pay attention with like my kids home and stuff. But if he was speaking to Millie or Poppy in some situations, I couldn't tell who like things were totally geared
To
towards. But I
Poppy.
believe this was Poppy. So he
Yeah.
says, thank you for doing what you were prophesied to do long ago. And I'm like, oh, I think I need to go back to read the prophecy now. Does this have something to do with... So I was thinking that when they spoke in the prophecy about the blood of the last chosen is spilled, then that brings the harbinger of death and destruction. And I thought, okay, this maybe is that moment. We were thinking that the chosen meant the maiden was chosen, but could have been the one chosen for the sacrifice. And that is Malec was the blood spilt of the chosen. And that's going to awaken something. I didn't know it was going to be Kolis at this point, whatever the death and destruction was. But I was thinking like maybe that is what he means by like, this is the prophecy playing out. Callum then says that, you know how prophecies are, the details can be off a little bit or can be like led for interpretation. But even though it didn't totally happen how we foresaw it, it still happened. And this is where Millie was like, I don't understand. And she starts like questioning things. And I was starting to question things because I didn't understand what she didn't understand. I don't know.
And then
if,
Poppy
like-
kind of realizes, like, holy shit, like, I was supposed to be the one on that altar. I was the one that was supposed to be
Mhm.
sacrificed. And I don't think Millie has picked that part up. I think that's the part she's confused about.
Oh, maybe.
And then Poppy says that, like, the bringer of
Oh.
death and destruction, not death and destruction, but the bringer of it. And then this
The
is when I
br-
put, Kristen, you were so right.
Yes. Yes.
I called it. I was
You
very happy.
really did.
Good
That was my
call.
note all in caps for you. You're welcome.
So that does make sense for Millie being confused because
Yeah.
she thought the prophecy meant one thing and
Yeah.
he's basically saying this is what the
Mhm.
prophecy meant. And she's like,
Yeah.
what?
Mhm.
Yeah, like
that
Callum's
is-
basically saying, like, that was supposed to be you that was killed, which then Millie hasn't connected to the fact yet that, no, that was actually supposed to be
Yes.
me, but I failed my
Yeah.
ascension.
Yes.
And then it was Poppy.
Mhm.
I think. Anyway, that's what I took from
Yeah.
it.
No, I think you're right now that I'm thinking about it. Because yeah, Millie says, I don't understand anything that's happening. And he said, you mean what could have happened if you weren't a failure? Like what could have happened to Millie, right? Like that's where that is like
yeah.
Yeah.
said. Holy moly, there's a lot going on here. Again, I'm like, could this be the first part of the sacrifice to get her son back? Would she sacrifice her own daughters to do that? So do you think that the moment that she was told, like the blood crown, that Malec was alive, she was like, oh my gosh, thank goodness, now I don't have to kill my daughter?
Yes.
Like, do you think
so.
that was kind of where the gear started turning about that?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if it fully, like, to me, I don't know if it clicked in until, like, she makes that snap decision with Poppy. Or that's maybe when she decides that she's not going to kill Poppy, but I feel
Yeah.
like that is how I perceive the turning point for her.
So do you think when she was like, oh, Malec's alive and I want him, she was just like, it's my heartmate, so I just want him because I
Yes.
love him, not
Yeah.
to like use him.
Unless that was when like she's like, oh, I want him, and but maybe gears did start turning, and then when she made that decision is when
Yeah.
it snapped into place. That's how I perceived it.
So this whole time the queen was waiting for Poppy to finish her culling to then sacrifice her for whatever reason to bring back her son. That's what I think. That's so funny. But Callum is acting cool as a cucumber right now. It seems like he is the one running the show. He says, I've been waiting a long time for you. And he has been waiting a long time for this, the sacrifice to put the balance from the array
The
or
fates.
what have you.
Yeah,
the
the
fates.
fates.
Yeah.
The array or
Which-
the fates.
Which, like, I don't totally understand because how did that create the balance? Like, I feel like things are way out of balance right now. Like, or not, sorry, I think that puts things out of balance with Kolis. Or does it mean because Nyktos is out and now it's back into balance because Kolis comes out?
I think
Like,
it's
I
just
didn't
because he's
totally-
been entombed. So like the primal of death
Yeah.
has been out of business.
And that's why it was not
I
in
think.
balance.
Well, at least that's how they look at it, I'm sure. Yeah.
That's fair. The bringer of death and destruction, meaning the bringer of the primal of death. That was a part of the ritual that was needed to bring. This is me finally cluing in. I'm like, oh, it's not about her son. I'm like, ew. Like the rest of my notes here are just like random notes.
Do you want me
I
to
don't
take
know.
it from here?
Yeah, I
Okay.
think so.
I don't have many more. So Callum says that it is now time to bow to the true king of the realms. He has been waiting this whole time. He too has slept fitfully, kept well fed under the temple of Theon. And meaning like that extra right where all those children had been sacrificed, like all of their sacrifice in blood had gone to him, essentially feeding
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
which is fucked up.
Yeah.
And then he put I have a quote, I copied and pasted this. He said, he had to be strong enough to awaken, and he was. Callum dragged his teeth along his lower lip. When you shed the mortal flesh and began your ascension, it freed him. And soon, when Malec takes his final breath, he will be at his full strength. All of these years, all of these centuries and centuries that he has been waiting, sleeping even more restlessly after your birth, sensing you, feeling you. He's been waiting and waiting for the proverbial key to his lock, for his ... pretty poppy to pick and watch bleed. There is the mic
Crazy.
drop, right?
I was
Because like the consort is sleeping and coming to her in visions, and that's like literally Kolis coming to her
Yep.
in like visions of
Yep.
like him
Yeah.
waiting to just
So-
pluck her and sacrifice her and watch
Yep.
her bleed for him to like.
To come to life. Both the primal of life
Wild.
and the primal of death are essentially coming to her in their dreams, which is
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
So, we end the chapter with Isbeth stabbing Malik and Callum, including the gang into a few things, as we've discussed. Cass shreds Callum to get his heart, and Delano warns that something is approaching, and we find out that it's Kolis.
I
dun,
thought it was very interesting that this is the first full circle on what stale lilacs
Yup.
means.
Yes.
And we hear
yes.
that stale lilacs is the smell of like Kolis and the
Yep.
death and
Mhm.
destruction. Like,
It's all put on the
Mhm.
page.
yeah, I'm
right
like,
here.
oh God, this
Yep.
is all making sense now.
Yep.
Yep.
Crazy.
Okay, so chapter 48. Chapter opens with an explosion in the temple, and all of the god statues burst apart and send everyone flying. Millie yells out that this can still be stopped, and his power requires a sacrifice, and Malec is not dead yet, which is interesting. Like, how
But
do you
she
know
did
that part
know.
of the plan?
Yes, I know. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. She is then struck by a flying rock and knocked unconscious, and Malec goes to her side. So
So when
interesting,
that-
because up until this point, I think we weren't even really sure, but this kind of sounds like, well, if you know that he can still be stopped, then you must have known of some of the plan.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm so unsure about it because
Right?
she seems really surprised. Maybe like she does seem very logical and someone that can put two and two together. So she's probably realized, okay, this is a sacrifice. This is happening. Like, oh my God, he's not dead yet. Like
Mhm.
maybe it's just her like
Rationalizing
making
it,
assumptions
maybe?
at this point. Yeah. I thought when she gets hit in the head, I was like, oh my God, Millie's going to die. And now Poppy's going to, because I'm like, why is Poppy not going to like use her healing powers on Malec at this point so that this sacrifice doesn't work? And I'm like, oh my God, now she's going to have to choose between saving her sister or saving Malec. And then I was like, oh,
Oh.
she's a revenant. She doesn't die.
Yeah. Her can't
Never
die.
mind. I had like a whole thing and I was like, oh, wait.
Wait
Never
a
mind.
minute. I'm wrong.
I spent the first part, like, again, suspicious of everything. So they're at a temple. I'm like, are we assuming this temple is a temple that they went to previously? And Reaver was like, this didn't used to be the Primal of Life's temple. It used to be this temple. And I'm like, the writing was on the fucking wall there. And then,
Oh, yes.
we still don't know where Reaver is. I'm like, okay, wait. Can draken be evil too? Like, what if the only draken that survived the fire that the widow did were aligned with Kolis? And that's why they survived.
And that's why she wasn't worried about the draken.
And that's
I
why
am
she
getting
wasn't worried
goosebumps.
about the dragon.
Like, this obviously is proven not true, but I'm like, whoa, that was such a good thought.
That is
process.
a good theory. I
So
would have been
scared.
crushed.
Yeah.
crushed.
Oh man.
I was
glad
very
you're-
worried.
I'm glad
Very
that you were
worried.
wrong, but that is a very good theory.
Me too. That was good. Like I got goosebumps even knowing that that's not what was going to happen. I was like, that
I
is solid.
switch point of views, my next note, but I'll wait until
You know what? That's
Reaver
okay, though.
appears.
So funny.
So a huge fissure spreads out across the ground. And like one of the blood crown's guards like kind of falls down and he's like grabbing onto the ledge. And he's like yelling for help and Delano is about to go help him. And Cass and Poppy can hear a sound of like something scratching on the rock. And the next thing we know, the guard is screaming as he's pulled down into the hole. And Callum comes back to life, smiling, because of course he is, saying that it is the Decay. Is that how you pronounce it, Amanda? Decay?
Yeah. No. Hold on, I'm
Decay?
trying to see it. Yeah, I think Decay is right.
Decay? Okay.
I was just hoping I had it half-assed written down here, but yeah, I think that's right.
Okay. Smiling and saying that it's the Decay, the true king of the true king's guards, sorry. And the wolven all bolt at that moment. And like they're all like, interesting. I've never seen a wolven bolt at anything before. And they went running.
Yeah.
So
I would too, to be fair.
yeah, right. So
I
the
do
Decay
not blame
burst
you.
out of the ground as large as horses, and a battle ensues. The draken arrived. I kind of la-di-da through the battle, so if you guys have anything you want to add.
I have a bunch of notes here. So the one that I was talking about, like Millie getting hit head in the rock, that was actually in here. So I did make a note that mist was coming out of the fissures as well, and I was like, is this the primal mist too? That's like
Oh,
because
yes.
Kolis is a primal. I feel like the combat against Kolis is going to be Kolis versus the consort. So it's kind of interesting. I didn't realize I kind of called
Yeah.
that right here.
Good God.
They're
Good job.
going to be able to bring Iris back to her. I think that the consort will wake and she will be strong enough because they've always said the female lineage is stronger than the males, but obviously Poppy isn't strong enough yet because it would take her thousands of years to get like after the culling.
Mhm.
But the consort is probably already there in strength. They just need to fulfill the conditions to get her there. Hopefully Poppy will say her name, and that will also bring Iris back to Iliseeum. So I was throwing Iris back in there. So I thought here, if Kolis is totally resurrected, because the way that the wolven were running away was strange to me, because they make a point to say that they've never seen the wolven run, but aren't they like duty bound to protect her? And the fact that they were running away made me think that they were going against what the primal notum is supposed to force them to do. And I thought, okay, is she going to lose the primal notum because Kolis is also a primal and is much stronger than her? And will that and is that causing like the wolven like right now to kind of be a miss and not where like their allegiance is going to be? And I wasn't sure because from what we were told, Nyktos created that, right? The notum, or the ability for them to bond with the Atlanteans or what have you.
Well, we find out that it's actually the consort that did that.
Yes,
he was the one that
that's true.
smoothed the waters, but it's her
That's
magic
Right.
that made the
So-
Kiyu into the wolven.
And I was wondering, does it follow Poppy because she's the bloodline from like the consort in that, or is it just because she's a primal? So I was like, is it going to switch, or does it stay within her bloodline because it was like
Right.
her direct lineage? So here I was kind of worried that that's what was
It's a good
kind of
thought.
happening with the
Yeah.
wolven.
So they come out of the ground as large as battle horses, and the draken arrive next. Notably, no mention of Reaver yet, which I don't like, and they joined the battle.
I feel like Poppy like finally summoning the draken, because she did it. She willed them to come, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, your plan was like squash the second like she stabbed Malec or whatever.
Yes.
Like, why did you not just call the draken in at that point and be like, okay,
Right.
this is not
Shit's
like
going
going to
down.
plan? Yeah, I felt like it took like way too long to make that call.
Yes.
So one of the Decay come out of the ground, leaps towards Emil. Emil plunges his sword into the creature's chest. And I was thinking, like, there's no way they're going to die that easy. I don't think Draken die that easy. And Draken is, like, kind of like the equivalent to these, right? But just for separate primals. But I think it did kill him. Isbeth then demands for them to protect their king. And Malec is fighting Callum. And I thought that was interesting. And I felt like that was going to, like, I don't know, turn into something for some reason. Burning pain scalds Poppy's senses, and I think Castiel says to go to the rise.
Yeah.
Castiel says from the rise. It's the
Is that where her
arrows.
pain is
because they're
coming from?
shooting arrows down from the rise, and because like Isbeth had just called on the people to defend her king, and so they're shooting arrows at them, and he kind of like leaps behind a pillar with her to like protect her from the arrows. I think some of them hit her though. I think that's
so
the
when
pain that
she
you're talking
feels
about.
the pain, well, I was gonna wonder though, is she feeling the pain because wolven are getting hit? Is she feeling the pain?
Oh,
because
yeah, I guess. Could be.
Yeah.
And also, like, if she feels pain, does Castiel feel that pain too? And does Kieran feel that pain too? Like, is their emotions connected in that sense? So, like, if one person's getting hurt, they all feel that?
I mean, that would make sense, I would think, right?
So, like, I was having a hard time
know.
when she's feeling pain. I'm like, who's hurt? Is it a wolven? Is it Castiel? Is
Yeah.
it Kieran? Like, I don't know where this is coming from. So Poppy snaps the necks of the guards with the arrows on the rise, and she says that she knows that they will return, but it gives them a little bit more time before more of them come, so they can focus on the Dakai. I don't want to go too far past your notes. Do you have anything?
Nope,
Am I
that's
getting-
where I'm at too. Keep going.
Okay. So Poppy tells Castiel and Kieran to get to Malec, that we need to take the dagger out. I'm thinking like the problem is he's already been stabbed with the Shadowstone, and I thought like that'll kill you. Like
I know,
it's
and
not, like,
I feel like the death, like obviously the death didn't happen, but like it was very slow to happen, and I'm like, I kind
yes,
of
I'm like,
envisioned
this
it being
is
more
taking
instantaneous.
forever. Yes.
Yeah.
And like I thought like you could just pull it out, and you've already
Yeah.
stabbed with the Shadowstone, so you're gonna die.
Right,
Like,
right.
so that's very confusing. Like to say that a Shadowstone can kill a god, but it still seems like not that easily because he was already on his deathbed.
Yeah.
Like this is the frail of frail that you can be.
Right.
And he still was like breathing and alive, and it looked like Isbeth was gonna like attack him with a different sword to
Like slice his throat. Yeah.
Yes. So I was like really surprised by that. So the problem is he's already stabbed. Is not already going to kill him. Is Isbeth going to use her magic to stop them? So I was kind of surprised that Isbeth hasn't used any of her god magic, whatever she is, demis, to stop any of them at this point, or at least to fight. And maybe she's
I know
thinking
she's
I don't
kind of
have
just
to.
like hovering by the casket and like.
But I wondered, we learned that when Poppy uses the essence, that it draws them towards her. So would it do the same thing to Isbeth if she were to use hers?
Oh, maybe.
So she knew in the moment that she couldn't, or like if she did, that it would like draw them towards her. So I was thinking like maybe that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And then so my next thought here is if Sage is dead, because it says that she reached for the Notum for Sage and there was nothing there. And I was like, uh-oh, that's not good. Then she looks at Isbeth and she sounds like she's giving him CPR. I don't know what was going on. It sounded like she was like over top of Malec, like heaving on his chest or something.
Yeah.
And I was
I think she's
what
like
the heck
sobbing, like.
Oh, got you. I was like, heave ho. Like, I'm like, why is she giving him CPR? She just stabbed him and I
shoving
was
the knife in more.
I wondered the same
thing,
too, man. I'm like, is it
she's doing
CPR? Like, because
I took it as like she's
his
like
chest?
her whole body is heaving because she's sobbing.
That makes
That
sense.
makes more
how
sense.
I took it.
Because I'm like, this. Why would you give him
His
CPR?
whole
Yeah.
like there was so much information thrown at us here, and so much shit
Mhm.
happened. Like it was hard to keep track of it all.
It was
Yeah.
really hard to.
I lottie-dot a
track what
lot
was
through this
going
battle
on.
in my notes.
So Reaver is finally there. Yay. And he's giving. So prior to him showing up, I didn't put this in my notes, but I'm like, fuck, I just wish Reaver was here because he would tell them stuff. Like he knows things. So like he would know probably that this was a sacrifice. He would know what was going on. So I'm like, Reaver's finally here to give information. And the first thing he does is exactly that and said, don't use your essence because it draws them towards you. So I'm like, thank God. But interesting that he knew that. But finally Reaver's there and he does his fire shooty shoot to the Dakai.
I have a crockpot theory on Reaver here. So he says,
Yay.
you must do whatever it is they did to unleash them. That is all you must do. It's like, okay. Crockpot theory. So he's crouched beside Poppy, telling her like what she needs to do. I was like, what if Reaver is not just a draken, but is a god? Potentially even like a primal god or a regular god. I don't know. Or what if he's the real Malec? Because he's the only draken we know of that's comfortable in his human form. And we know that Malec can shift into the shadow cat, but I don't know if it said that they can only shift into shadow cats. Like, do we know that's the only form they can take? Can they shift into other beings? And he gives them, like, he never gives them all the information. Like Reaver never says exactly like, go do this, go do that. You're wrong. Oh, I didn't tell you that? Oh, sorry. I missed that.
Sorry,
My bad.
I knew that all along though.
Yeah. So he seems to be able to steer them in the right direction, but never directly lead. And if you ask him, like, I'm sure if you said, Reaver, why is this like this? He might answer you, but he's not going to just volunteer that information. Like, it's like he needs a direct question.
Yeah. Like,
so it's like he can't. Yeah, like he can't intervene with their choices, but he can guide them. And then I was like, okay, or what if he's a third child of the consort in Nyktos that they didn't tell anyone about? Kind of like they don't know Poppy is Isbeth's daughter because she's trying to protect them. So they're trying to protect their third son. And
do you know what's
they knew something like this would happen. So that's why they didn't tell anyone about him, because they didn't want to pay a target on Reaver's back.
And how much he liked Malec. Like he was like putting his hand on his...
I went through a whole
interesting about
spiel
that
of things.
is that when Poppy like kind of finishes her culling, we'll say, and does she not get like wings
She gets
or something?
wings.
Yes, but it's like essence made wings. It's not like real wings.
But do you know what's interesting
But it's
about it
still
though?
they're like
wings.
smoky kind of.
The interesting thing about that, though, I think that might turn into something more, because I made a note as this was happening. She was like, "Oh, my jaw hurts." I'm like, "Oh, her teeth are gonna come in, and this is gonna confirm the culling." But she also said, "And my back was aching in the same way," and I'm like, "That's interesting." And then the wings came, so I'm like, "Is she actually going to develop
Yeah.
wings or something?" Because right as she was complaining about her jaw, she also complained about the back, and then these like essence wings
Yeah.
came out. So maybe it'll be a thing that she can just have essence wings as she pleases. But I thought it was interesting that she was feeling the same aching in
That
her
is
back.
interesting. I didn't catch that.
And I was like, oh,
So
that is very cool.
that's where
There's
I went.
so much that could still happen.
know.
Like, there's so much we don't know.
I know.
So much.
So I put Reaver blast a path for Poppy, like through the Decai, and she's running through them. One jumps at her, she kills it. And then she comes across Hiza, who gets stabbed with Shadowstone by one of the Revenants. So Poppy pushes the Revenant, like she fights with the Rev and pushes him into Reaver's flames. And then she turns back to go help Hiza, but Millie is like, no, like you need to keep going to Malec, like focus on your task. And she's like, fuck. And she leaves Hiza to die, but it's okay. She comes back later. It's okay.
I know now it's okay, but I'm like,
It's okay now, but in the moment I'm like, no.
and her name,
I
I'm pretty sure is
know.
Haisa.
Oh, is it Haisa?
I
Sorry.
think
I had
so.
so
That's
many
okay.
crying emojis there.
I know. I had Haisa or Haisa died, and then like, no, Delano.
I know, Delano was
Oh, that was
rough.
rough. That was
Delano
rough.
says, "I will come with you," came his answer. Right then I was like, fuck, Delano just saved her. I know he's going to die
Yep.
next. Like
Yep.
2 paragraphs later, he's dead. I'm like, fuck, I hate
know.
being
And
Because
I was
he watches
sus of
Nail
him.
die, and then
Yes.
I was so sad.
So Delano runs off to Nail to go help. Millie is then swarmed by the Decai. Shit's going down.
It's going
Oh
down.
shit. Poppy.
Yeah.
Poppy starts running at
No.
Isbeth, who now has a sword and appears ready to slit Malec's throat. Poppy throws the wolven dagger at Isbeth, and Isbeth's head kind of like shoots up suddenly. And like all of a sudden now the dagger is like flying back at Poppy. And so Delano leaps out again to knock her to safety, and Poppy realizes, like, after the fact that he took like a hit
intercepted
for her,
that.
and the blade is in his chest, and Poppy's like
Ugh.
trying to heal him, and he shifts back to his mortal form with quote unquote unseeing eyes, and I'm like, no!
I
Delano! I was very upset.
I was so sad.
But it's okay, he comes back.
I know now it's okay, but like
Yeah,
in the
it's
moment
okay
I was
now.
like, oh my gosh, this is the worst.
Emil is then attacked by a Rev, and Poppy can hear Isbeth's voice saying, I knew you'd bring me what I needed. And Poppy then unleashes her ether and says that she's going to kill her. And she sends all of the weapons in the room flying at Isbeth, who deflects them with like a wave of her hand as if it's no big deal.
And she's like,
And then she
"Bitch."
sends a huge rock into the side of Isbeth's temple. And I'm like, oh shit.
So I put in this moment, I said, I think what's going to happen, I thought she was going to kill Isbeth, and then afterwards she was going to be like, oh, my lips are bleeding, and then realize she has fangs, and that's why she was strong enough to do it. That's not obviously how it like went down. But I kept saying, her jaw is throbbing. She's going to have fangs by the time this is done. And
them chompers are coming.
Yes. And then I put LOL, backhand that bitch, because she like took her crown and like
Yes.
I loved that happened.
Yes. And because like Millie's trying to get to Malec and Isbeth's like, I'm almost proud. Both of my daughters have betrayed me. I'm like, you are so fucked in the head, but okay.
Sadistic, eh?
And then Poppy rips off the crown and like uses it to backhand her in the face with it.
So this also, when she rips off the crown, I'm like, I don't think I can take full credit for this, but I was wondering, so they mentioned previously that like the queen, I feel like they sleep with their crowns on, and I was like, what if part of Isbeth's power lies in her crown, and that's why she never takes it off?
Oh.
Like that's like
primal magic in it or
yes,
something?
there's primal
That would be
magic, or like it's like
interesting.
she needs it on her to like channel through
hone
it.
her magic or
Yes.
That would be
whatever.
interesting.
Yes.
That is interesting. And then she
So Poppy tells her that her reign has come to an end, and Isbeth says that she chose Malec because she wouldn't kill Poppy, and that she loves her. And I'm like, what the fuck? This lady's
I
so
know,
fucking
I'm like,
psycho.
man, this bitch is so crazy.
For real. So Poppy then gets rocked by Isbeth's ether, and she is slammed to the ground hard. She can see like lights flashing in the back of her eyes, and like Poppy can't really hear or see anything like other than she just knows like there's a battle ensuing.
Yeah.
And then chapter ends. Suddenly Poppy sees no color, hears no sound. She sees the consort again, and she says it wasn't supposed to be this way. There are no blood tears this time, and Poppy realizes that she is not the consort. She is the queen of the gods, the true primal of life. Poppy remembers her name and remembers that she had begged Poppy to wake her because she also has been waiting. So Poppy like puts her palms to the ground and yells the name, which we find out in the next chapter. But it was a very lackluster name. I was like,
Yeah,
I was
know.
hoping for like
Yeah.
a oh my god moment.
I thought we were gonna know it, and it was
Yes.
gonna like
Yes.
be like
Yes.
that person that we knew, like
I
freaking
know.
the Duchess or some crazy shit. You know,
Right?
just somebody that was gonna be
know.
like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
I also, at this point, I'm like, look up who had the theory that the consort was more powerful, because they were right.
Yeah, I have that note here. Didn't somebody even say that maybe it was her that was the primal of life and not Nitos?
I looked it up,
Like,
and
I
I
feel
think
like
it was me talking about it last
Someone
episode.
said that. Yeah, I'm like,
But
man, that was.
I can't remember if I bounced off something you guys said, and I wasn't able to get
I
back.
can't remember
fast.
either, but I'm like, this is familiar. Like, we've discussed this. and
I
we were
was
on the
talking
right
about
track.
it, and I couldn't listen back far enough. So one of us got it, and I'm very proud of us.
Proud of us.
Yes. So chapter 49, I literally have 2 points to this.
I only have 7, so not many more
because
than
I was
you.
just there was so much info and I was just taking it in. And it was a short chapter.
It was
too.
a short chapter, yes.
So chapter 49. Chapter starts with a bolt of lightning striking the temple as well as striking Poppy at her saying the name of the consort. Poppy is filled with intense pain. Isbeth looks up at Poppy in shock and horror, and she starts to say something that Poppy couldn't hear. Cass and Kieran are also looking at Poppy in this moment. And my first thoughts were, can Cass and Kieran feel her pain that she's experiencing?
yes.
Is that why they're looking? Or are they just like, holy shit, you're getting struck by
Yeah.
lightning and you said the consort's
Yeah.
name. So I just thought that was my first, oh my gosh. And I only have one more note, so I'm going to let you take it somebody else.
I feel like, so right
Someone
after
else say
that,
something.
Poppy's like, it would kill me. It would kill them. I felt like,
yes.
I'm very much like, it's not going to kill her. It's the calling she's going through. Like, she's just going through the end of the calling. Like, I feel like we were supposed to be like, oh my God, is she going to die? And I was very like, no, she's not dying. This is the calling.
You were so
It's
calm
fine.
about it.
I was very calm about it.
Do you think that was the lightning coming down because that was the calling, or do you think that was the consort's like awakening into her?
I think both.
I think a little bit
all
of
the
both.
above. Yeah.
I think that's what triggered the calling, but I
Yeah.
think that it is the consort
Got
opening
you.
that's
Mm-hmm.
doing
Got
it.
you. Okay.
And I put here, Isbeth is trying to shout something, but Poppy can't hear it. All she can do is sense Cass and Kieran's fear. Do we ever find out what she's shouting? I guess not, right?
I don't think so.
And then Poppy sprouts her wings made of ether.
I was
So
like,
the
wings?
right.
Because she
So
mentions
the
her
air,
back pain and her jaw pain.
Mm-hmm.
all of the growth that she's having. She's got lots of growing pains. Poor girl.
Literally.
She needs some Tylenol.
Yes. So the air starts to smell of fresh lilacs as Nectis bursts through next, torching all of the beasts that are now trying to climb the rise.
Which
And
is interesting that he showed up.
right?
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't he have just come to begin with? Like, he
Yes.
sent them.
It's
and he's
almost like
oh, I
once
guess
she awoke, he was like, okay, like
Mhm.
I'm joining her
it
kind
was
of
like
deal.
a channel to the. Yeah, maybe you're right, actually. Good call.
I don't know. So Poppy mentions that the true primal of life's name is Seraphina. How
I
is
think
it
it's
pronounced?
Seraphina.
Seraphina.
I think.
And I put, wow, that's a letdown. Poppy recognizes that her gift of healing came from her, not from Nyktos, and he was the one that gifted her the shadows in her skin, the death in her touch, and the coldness in her chest. So this is already the
was-
first indication of like the primal
Yep.
of life and death.
I
Which
was like-
I will say minor vindication for me because I said that when we first when the shadows started popping out of her
Yes,
in
you
the
Yes, you did.
cell. I was like, oh, is this like death? Like,
Yep.
I mean, it's
You
kind
did.
of an obvious nod, but it's one I'm claiming
No.
anyway.
Yeah, no.
I know.
Because honestly, I wasn't feeling that. I was like, I don't think so. Like, I was kind of like I just, not that I didn't think so. Like, I thought it was interesting, but I didn't think that's the way the
Yeah,
story
you
was
like
gonna
thought it was
go.
going to be a bit of a
So it's
stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
So,
when I was like,
good on
okay,
you.
so Seraphina, the primal of life, and Nyktos was of death. Like, now that we see both those things, but
Right?
But what was Kolis? He was one of them, right? Like, he was.
he was
so
originally death.
it was Ethos. So Ethos and Kolis are brothers.
Correct.
Ethos was the primal of life. Kolis was the primal of death. But then Kolis wanted to save that mortal that fell off the cliff.
Cliff.
And so he comes to Ethos and is like, you need to bring her back. And he's like, I can't do that. Like, we shouldn't be bringing people back willy-nilly. And so Kolis gets pissed at his brother and somehow using primal magic switches their powers so that Kolis then becomes the primal of life and Ethos becomes the primal of death. However, a small ember of the primal of life remains in him and is passed down to Nyktos when Nyktos is born. But he doesn't want Nyktos to have that power because he's like, I don't want Kolis coming after my son. So he takes it from Nyktos and gives it to the consort, which is how she is immortal.
Which is some random mortal.
Yes.
Like, he just like.
Yes. And just happens to end up being his son's consort. But
Interesting.
that is what
And
I
then-
gained from this info
Yeah.
dump.
Did they ever switch back, or is technically
I don't-
Kolis?
I don't
still
think
has
they
the
ever did switch
primal of
back. I
life?
think
Mm-mm.
Nyktos technically has no power, like other than the fact that he's a
Yeah.
born primal, but like he has no, like he's not the primal of life and he's not the primal of death. He has nothing. And
Yeah.
the
So
consort
Kolis
has
has
that
both.
small little ember of the primal of life.
But
And
because she's a female, it just like is so
it's
strong.
stronger
Yeah.
for her, yes. And then
And
Kolis
Kolis has
is
both at this point.
Well, the
I don't think
consorts
there is a
refused,
primal of
referred
death
to as
right
the
now.
true primal of life too. So like,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
So Poppy and Seraphina's rage combine and they like shout out in unison. And all of the Decai and Revs go poof from existence, leaving nothing behind, not even ashes. But Millie remains untouched, which was interesting because all of the other
Mhm.
revenants went bye-bye.
And what about Callum?
Yeah.
Him too, right?
Callum,
Also
yeah.
did
That
not
proves-
go bye-bye.
They ain't revenants. There's
Yep.
something special in a non-special way. I don't know.
Special way.
Poppy and Seraphina are of one being, and Poppy tells Isbeth that she, meaning Seraphina, knows everything that Isbeth had done, and while Malec had created her in an action of love, nothing that she has done from that moment onwards has been, like, of love.
Yeah.
Poppy says that she once believed that everyone deserved an honorable death, but that is not the truth. She says that Isbeth's death, wow, say that 5 times fast, will be dishonorable, and history's written in the future will not remember her because she is not worth remembering. And I went, oh, snap.
See, I thought it was the consort that was saying that. That's interesting. So
Oh,
was
maybe it was. I don't
Poppy's?
know.
Either
the way I was
way,
reading it,
was
they were kind of like,
amazing. Yeah, like it was
That's
a
how I read
one.
it too, Katie.
Yeah.
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 So I don't know,
Yeah.
one of them. They were
Amazing.
kind of the same entity at this point in my
Yeah.
mind.
Yes,
So I
that's
guess
fair.
either.
That's fair.
So she's like breaking Isbeth's limbs, like her arms, her legs, as
Yes.
she's like saying these. And then I go into chapter's end, which I think this is
Okay.
you, Amanda,
Yep.
right?
It
Mhm.
is. So my only other note here is that I make a point, okay, she's getting back pain and some more jaw pain. This is going to mean something. But chapter ends with Isbeth's bones breaking one by one as the consort speaks through and with Poppy, saying that she, what you said, no longer deserves an honorable death. Poppy does not look away as Isbeth takes her last breath, although Kieran and Cass ask her to look away. She does not. And as Isbeth does take her last breath, the realms like fly away from her or something like that.
Fell away from her.
Fell away from her.
So weird.
So that's interesting.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Right?
Are they talking about the consort? Because what does the prophecy say that she, like the realms or the stars and whatever fall? Does it say something about the realms? And is that like what
something.
That's referring to? Is the consort in the realms? So then the consort's leaving her? Is that what that's referring to?
Maybe.
Or is it like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, this means something, but I don't understand.
Yeah. Because it's not like
don't
it's
know
worded
why.
as if, she just went unconscious. Like it was, it's worded differently.
It was like she was removed from
Yes.
like the existence of their being in that moment.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Chapter 50.
All right. Chapter 50. So our chapter starts with Poppy unconscious, but two voices draw her out, those of Cass and Kieran. And she quickly discovers she has fangs, and then she takes in the battlefield.
I put,
My first
welcome to the calling graduation, Poppy.
I just put, she got fangs.
Everyone called it, except for me, because I didn't read those parts in detail.
Yeah, you're
I
like,
didn't
teeth,
want to
I
think
am
about
tuning out.
that. Yeah.
Moving on. Yeah.
That was
You
all
guys would
Amanda.
like
I
to
can take
talk-
no credit for that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my
Y'all
God.
would like to talk about it? I am going to take my headphones off.
That's so funny.
No, I'm so happy about that.
Uh,
So Poppy realizes that Nail and Delano are alive, and she's like sobbing and hugging Delano very tightly. She lets him go, and she can then see Hysa behind them,
yes.
also alive. And she's like, "How is this possible?" And
I
Cass and
wondered if it was the consort giving them back as a gift to Poppy.
Oh.
Before it was,
Oh.
that was my first thought when I
Yeah.
saw them both. I'm like, the consort must have given them back as a
I was like,
It's like,
was
well,
it all a
it's-
dream? That's what I thought.
I kind of was like that too. When like Kieran and Cass, I was like, oh my God, are we going to go back to like book 2 and none of this has happened?
Oh my
I'm like,
God,
that would
could
be
you imagine?
So terrible.
might be a little
So
upset.
Cass and Kieran say like it happened, like she brought them all back, like even the soldiers and the guards, all of them. Cass said it happened as she had passed out, and that tiny little orbs had started falling from the sky. And Poppy remembers the part of the prophecy when speaking the name would bring the stars from the sky, because Cass described these tiny orbs, they kind of look
Mhm.
like stars. So apparently that was a good thing, not a bad thing for the stars to fall from the sky.
Yep.
Yes.
So Poppy asks where Reaver is, and Nectis says that he has taken Malec back to Iliseeum, and he explains that he can manifest clothing on himself, but Reaver can't, because she's like, "Why are you wearing pants?" Like she's like obsessed over the fact that he's wearing pants. And he's like, "Well, Reaver is still a youngling, and that he, when he was really young, he liked to be called Reaver Butt."
I laughed so hard.
What the fuck?
died
This is so
laughing.
fucking random.
Doesn't it seem like a nickname like that we would make up? Like
No,
that's
it
what
seems
know
like
what
a
the
nickname my
funny-
child would make up.
That's what
like,
I'm
what are we
saying,
gonna
though,
call
like-
Reaver Butt? Like,
yes, that's what I thought.
it's
I
like
feel a
Jennifer
little,
went
like,
to her kid and
called
was like, "What
out.
am I gonna call this?"
The thing I laugh even more about this for is like so I have a dog named Allie, and we call her Allie Poo. And I remember, Katie, your daughter was like, "Allie pooped? Like, when did Allie poop?" And then you call Finn Wigabutt.
Yeah,
And I'm
Wigga
like-
Bomb.
yeah, like
Get it
that's
right.
what
always
it makes me
ends-
think, though. It's
it's
just
like
so
the
funny.
bum
Poop
or the
butt
butt.
or
In my defense, I call
So
him that because
funny.
when you go, "Hi, Wigga Bum," he wiggles his bum. So
I know. But it was just, I'm like, both my dogs have nicknames like that.
That's so funny.
yep. So Reaver Butt apparently.
I love
So
it.
good.
So Poppy tells Nectis that she is sorry to hear about. Is it? I thought it was Judas. Isn't that what we had been saying this whole time?
Juno.
Juno. We've been saying it wrong because it's like Jadis or something.
Yeah, it's spelled
Yes.
Jadis, and I'm like, have
Yeah,
we been
that's
saying this name wrong the whole fucking time?
I was
So
so
apologies,
confused here
listeners,
too.
who are probably yelling at us. Sorry.
Yes.
Jadis. And Nectis says that she is not dead. He can feel her somewhere within this realm, and that he is her father, and he can sense it more greatly than Reaver would be able to. Because Poppy's like, well, Reaver said that like can't sense him.
Because I think we kind of clued that together when she said that they had to kill Corlina with draken blood. So we're like, okay, obviously the
he's
draken
still
is alive.
Yep.
So
Yep. And Manda, you
Go
called that like
us.
way from the beginning that Isbeth had the
Mhm.
draken handled or
I wasn't even sure if I
captured.
believed it though, but yes.
So Poppy promises that they will find her, and he says, yes, we will. So Poppy then asks where Millie and Malec are, and Cass says that Millie ran off when Isbeth died, and Malec went after her, which, again, I bring back, interesting. It's almost like a cord was cut, and she was let off leash, and away she went.
It's just interesting that she would think to bolt. Do you think that she could be going to save her own father? Like maybe that was what she was trying to do? Like,
honestly, I think she just wanted to get the fuck away
Yeah.
from anything that was Isbeth, because she's
Probably.
been
Yeah.
tormented her entire existence by her.
Don't blame her.
Right?
yeah.
So Poppy asks how her will was enough to bring everyone back, and Nectis says that she did not do it by herself. She's not that strong yet. And he explains that Nyktos had caught all of the souls before they went to the Abyss and the Veil, or wherever they were destined to go. And with the help of the Primal of Life, they were like, he kind of released the souls and they were able to pull them back. Nectis. Sorry.
Sorry, I don't know if this happened right here, but he mentions that the consort is the most powerful primal for now.
Yes.
Yes.
Which I thought was a big insinuation
Yep.
that like
Like
Poppy will
Poppy's
be
gonna-
eventually.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Nectis said that the guards were also brought back because, like, Kieran's like, well, we could have done without the guards being brought back. And Nectis said, well, the Primal of Life must always ensure that there's balance. So, like, she can't only bring back
yeah.
the good quote unquote guys and not
Yes.
the opposing side. So this is when Nectis then reveals that Ethos was the Primal of Life and his brother Kolis was the true Primal of Death, making Kolis Poppy's great uncle. I think we all kind of assumed something along those lines.
Yeah, I almost wondered, were we told it or was it just an assumption?
I
from
know.
us? I feel like we
a
were
lot of our
told.
theories blend into fact with me,
Yeah.
and I can't
Yeah.
remember. But I feel like that was
Same.
brought up and confirmed, but here we are.
Yeah.
He says that Kolis fell in love with a mortal and he scared her while she was picking flowers. And I put picking flowers, you say.
And he was the
Like,
one that had picking
Poppy,
picking
watch
it
bleed.
Watch it bleed.
Yep. So I'm like, interesting similarity
It's
there.
also kind of weird because it sounds like he fell in love with a mortal just by watching her. Like this mortal didn't know him at all, and he just like was like, "Hi, mortal," and she's like, "Oh my god, who are you?" Like,
yeah, that's what
so
it
it's kind
sounds
of
like.
what do you mean you fell in love? Like you didn't even
Yeah, because she,
meet her.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I thought
So
that
she
was kinda
fell
like-
from the Clovis of Sorrow, I think, if I wrote that down correctly.
Cliffs of Sorrow.
Cliffs, that must be it, not Clovis. I'm like, that doesn't sound right at all.
And Poppy says that Ian had told her that story. I'm like,
Yes.
I knew.
Yes.
I called it way back when that the
You
stories
did.
Ian told were not for no reason.
Real
Yep. Because
ass
Poppy's like, oh, I thought he had
stories.
just made that up. But like, clearly not. Now I want to go back and read more of the Ian stories and see
Right?
what else we got.
What else we don't know
Honestly.
that we know?
Right. So Kieran asks, what about Nyktos? Like he thought that he was the Primal of Life and Death. And Nectis says that he is a Primal of Death, but not the true Primal of Death. And that no one was ever the Primal of both life and death. And that title was given to him long after he had gone to sleep. And it is not one that he would have ever answered to. So that's kind of
This is-
interesting.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think around here I started wondering, like, I know we talked about how, like, Poppy is a god or primal, like, she doesn't hear the prayers, though, and I'm like, they probably only hear, this is what I'm, like, questioning myself, I'm like, they probably only hear the prayers that are directed to them, so even if, so, like, they don't know what to pray to Poppy, because they don't know what she's the god of, like, you
Right.
want the luck, you're gonna go pray to the god of luck, you know?
Right.
And maybe also too, Nyktos wasn't hearing prayers because they're praying to the god
To the
of
wrong-
life and death, and he's neither.
He is not.
Oh. That's a good point.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Nectus says that while it was Nyktos that met with the Q, I already said this, but I do want to say, so Poppy's like, well, that's some sexist patriarchal bullshit. And I'm like,
Yes.
go off, Poppy. Yes.
Yes.
And Cass agrees, and I'm like, thank you, Cass. Thank you for
Right.
agreeing with that. Nectus
It
says
is interesting that they said it was because like the consort decided that.
Yeah.
I forget
Yeah.
the reason. I forget
so he
why.
said that she didn't want to be remembered that way. She preferred to like be in the shadows.
like
And so that
under the
was like
radar,
her
right?
wish. So Nyktos only went along with it, like to honor her wishes, kind of
Yeah.
deal.
Gotcha.
So
And they don't know why she wished
Right.
that either.
just that she preferred to be
yeah.
off to the side, which is probably also why no
Interesting.
one knows her name. I don't know.
Yep.
Weird.
And maybe that's why, so they wouldn't call her out for
Yeah.
wrong reasons. Maybe.
Yeah,
Mhm.
maybe like don't call my name and wake me up yet, kind of deal. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
She's sleepy.
Yeah. So Nectus explains that the power can only be passed down to females of that line, which is why Malec and Iris were not primals, but said that the consort and Nyktos were trying to avoid all of this. Nyktos was supposed to be the last born primal, and the consort was supposed to be the last primal born of the mortal flesh. He says that Poppy was never supposed to be, and Poppy goes, sorry? He's like, don't apologize for your existence.
Sorry. that I'm here.
Nectus says that what was done to stop Kolis meant that Malec and Iris could have never risked children because it meant having a daughter. And that was why they stayed in Iliseeum.
This is why the heart bond was denied. They didn't want them to have children.
Oh, you are so right.
And Isbeth had no idea that he wasn't supposed to have children.
Yes, because, oh my gosh, yes. That has
Because,
to
like,
be
how
it.
would they stop them from having children? They would just have to tell them, like,
Right.
this is what will happen. You can't have children. And he probably loved her so much. And they had
Yep.
children. It was a boy.
Yeah, because clearly she never knew that was the case.
Yeah.
Because
Had
like
no
she'd even
idea
said to
why they were
to Malec on his deathbed, like, "Oh, we could have gone off on our own and had so many children." Like she mentioned wanting to have more kids.
children.
So clearly she did not know that they were not supposed to have
Mhm.
kids.
Yes.
Damn, you're right. That has to be
Interesting.
why.
Ugh.
Because it was approached after the fact, right? For the trials after she was pregnant.
Yeah, I think
No,
so.
before she was pregnant, they wanted to go through the trials and they said no.
But it was denied because she was pregnant, right? That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it was denied because they're like, no, we don't want you guys together even having kids.
Oh,
to begin
I thought you were
with."
saying they denied it because she got pregnant. That's what I thought you were saying.
No, I
Oh.
think that they denied it because they didn't want them together, period, because they
Yeah.
didn't
To
want
risk
them
having kids. I see what you're saying. Okay. I thought it was like
And then he ran away to the mortal world
yes.
to do
yes.
what they didn't want him to do.
So Nectus says that Poppy is the true primal of life and death, and that those two essences have never existed in one, not in the consort nor in Nyktos, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Poppy stands and sees ashy vines on the ground, and Nectus explains that they did not stop Kolis from awakening because he was already awake. What was done today had freed him, but because Malec still lives, that they have slowed his rise to full flesh and bone power, and that is why the consort had aided Poppy in bringing the people back, because they will be needed to stop Kolis for good. And he says, like, because Poppy's like, oh, do we have to like entomb him again? And he's like, no,
Yeah.
like you need to kill him.
You gotta kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I go into chapter end.
I don't know if you said this, but Nectus, when he's speaking, he said, "You're not just a loophole, you're many things. The primal of blood and bone," which I thought was very interesting, "and the true primal of life and death."
Oh, I
So
didn't
she's
catch
the
the blood and
primal
bone
of blood
part.
and bone. Yeah.
Isn't that what one of the next
Oh.
books is called, too? The Primal of Blood and Bone?
Oh, it is.
don't
I think
know.
you're right. I think you're right, Manda. Yes, I think
The
that is the
newest
name
one,
of
right?
the
So-
one after the.
Very
Throwback.
interesting.
That is very
So-
interesting. I did not catch that. Good
Yeah.
catch.
Yeah. Anything else before chapter end?
No, I have something, but I can't remember it. I'm going to try to
Okay.
remember it. It has nothing to do with this specific chapter.
Okay. So we end the chapter and the book finding out that the
Mhm.
consort and Nyktos are no longer asleep. The gods are waking up in Iliseeum, which I'm like, I think we're gonna go back. And that the war they fought wasn't the end. It was just the beginning because Kolis is released and they have to fight him and kill him.
Dun,
And it's
dun,
interesting,
dun.
too. They're telling us that, like, all the gods are awake and they do not all align with Nyktos.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, so all the gods are bad then? or
Well,
like
some of them are. Sounds
Some
like.
of
they
them
made
are.
it seem like most of them
Yeah.
do not align with. But
Which
I mean,
is
think
very
about why they went to
interesting.
sleep, because they all lost their humanity basically and were like, I don't care about any of this.
Mhm.
I wonder if we will end up going to that. Remember what Willa Collins said? There was like that city in Iliseeum that like you can't
Yeah.
go to.
The veil,
So I wonder if
right?
like that will be. I forget what it was called.
I thought it
started
was
with a D.
Iliseeum.
No,
thought
they
it was
went
the
to
veil.
Iliseum. Poppy went to Iliseum, but there was a city in Iliseum.
Oh, yes. Yes.
It started with like a D or something. And she said Delos, maybe the city of
Oh,
Delos.
Delios.
or,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes,
or something
you're
like
right.
that. Like, don't
Yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
Now that we have closed off this book, you can close it, take the bookmark out, and get it ready for the next one. But before, we are going to do the bookish breakdown.
It is my turn to host, so
Because you were the winner.
Update on
I
the
was
standings.
the winner.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Kristen is in the lead with 5 points. And Katie is 1 point behind with her 4. And I am in dead last with 3 points. And it kills me inside.
Wake me up inside.
Wake me up. Save me.
That's what the consort was singing.
Okay, so I have picked a game I hope is going to be fun. You guys are going to need to either text or message me somehow where the other cannot see what you've done.
Okey-dokey.
So we're gonna, we're entering a little minefield here. So we're gonna have to tread carefully. So the name, the whole theme of the game is I'm going to have you guys summarize from Blood and Ash series up to where we've read so far. However, each of you are going to pick 3.
I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I'm trying to hold it in.
Each of you are going to pick
Thank you.
3 words. So that are going to be your quote unquote minds. So I have an example here, and I'm going to hope this makes sense. So you're going to go head to head, and you're going to each say like a sentence. So one of you will start off, and then you kind of pick up where the other goes. So, but if like Katie, you have a word on your list that Amanda says, you get a strike against you. So,
Oh.
yes.
And we don't know
It's
what
like
the other person's words are?
Yes, you don't know what the other
Ooh.
person's words are. So you kind of want to have
shit.
to be careful
So you
about
want
what you
words
say.
that you're going to most likely say, but then we want to also be
You
careful
can-
what we say, that we don't say someone else's word.
Yes, you can pick whatever
Oh.
word you want.
So we're making the summary story together. Like I say a line, she says a line. Okay.
Yes. Yep. So here's an example. Summarizing like Violet's first year at Big Sky, I think, which is 4th wing. So like say
is there spoilers in this?
no.
Okay. Just
No,
in
it's
case.
it's very quick. It's very quick.
Okay.
So like the dragon's names, Zayden, Parapet, like those are options. So like if Parapet was your word, Katie, and Amanda said Violet walks the parapet, then boom, there goes a mine. You get a strike against you. Or Amanda gets a point, I guess.
So the first person, like if somebody gets all their words said, they lose.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. And we get 3
Yes.
words?
You get 3 words. I was going to do
Okay.
multiple rounds, but I'm thinking about like everything else probably has spoilers. So
Yeah.
we're going to do
hard. Okay.
3 words and see how it goes.
Okay.
It might
Okay,
be
so
a
we
little
have to
bit of a
text
shorter.
you our words.
Yes.
So
I have a clarification question.
I do too. But you can't listen when I ask mine. Can I listen when
Yeah, you can
you
listen.
ask yours? Okay.
So if let's say my words were bomb, candy, and microphone, am I allowed to use those words and only Manda can't, or can I also not say it?
See,
I
I was
would-
thinking it could almost be strategy if you say it.
Right?
That it
Because
would
then,
make me think.
then you
I
would
was
think that the
thinking
word is
same
safe.
thing.
like I
Yeah.
don't like because like let's say for example my word was I don't
do
know
all the
maiden,
Harry Potter.
and I was like,
Okay.
oh, the woman who wears the veil. Like then you would know I'm trying to get you to avoid the word maiden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I didn't know. Are my bomb words safe for me or not safe for me?
I think they'd be safe for you.
Safe for me. Okay.
I think that makes it a
Because
little
that changes
more
my strategy.
tricky.
Do I need to take
Can you
these off,
take your...
Amanda?
Yes, please. Okay. Question. If I have my word as Penelope, but Katie only says Poppy, does that count as a strike or does it not count? Because I feel
think
like
she needs
she's
to say she needs to say
pen-
the whole word.
the whole thing.
Yes,
Okay.
not a short form.
Perfect. Okay.
Just kind of making these up as I go.
It's okay.
There we go. Okay.
Do you have your 3? I'm not very
I'm
confident.
gonna have
in
to
my
be
3, but...
very careful in
And how many strikes until we're out?
all of them.
3.
Like if I say all your words, then
Oh, okay. I see.
I'm out, right?
The first,
No.
yeah,
Yeah, I can't say Katie's words. Yes, so
Yes.
I'm out if I say all your words.
Okay.
You're out if you say all 3 of my words.
Rock, paper,
Yep.
scissors to see who starts the story. Because I feel like the person who starts is at a disadvantage because you have to go first.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot, okay?
Okay, yes.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Shit. Paper,
So is
cut.
it one sentence?
yeah.
It doesn't matter how fast we go, like through the paces, like of the
No.
book, does it? Okay.
Okay.
Whatever you feel confident in.
Oh, all right. I got to think back to book 1. All right. Once upon a time, there was a girl who was our main character, whose name was a flower, and she was under strict living conditions.
I'm really trying to avoid words. That's so funny. Do you know what? I think I did. Guys, I'm so dumb. I tried to make my words so you wouldn't guess them.
Well, that
I know. It's my own fault. Anyways, I just realized I was so stupid.
Their words
I was,
work.
I was trying to make them hard. Were you wondering why I asked you that question? I'm like, perfect. She won't guess this then. Anyways, wow. Okay, continue.
that's my first sentence. It's your turn.
Sorry, what did it end on?
She has strict living instructions.
Yes.
Okay. She had a desire to live and explore outside of her confinements. So she decided to secretly sneak out one night.
And on her night on the town, she went to a place that sells alcohol. And
Like, is she trying to get me to say Red Pearl?
I trust nothing and no one.
Oh, that's so funny.
And when she's at this establishment, the person that is working behind the bar directs her to go upstairs.
When she goes upstairs, she meets somebody that is devilishly handsome, and he believes that she is somebody else, and she goes along with it because she's so afraid of getting caught. And I kind of forget what happens next.
I don't remember what comes
I don't know how
next.
they get out of this room. And yeah, eventually she like lottie-daws through that, and she ends up back in her chambers, and she starts speaking to her very best friend.
And her very best friend is not supposed to be talking to her because part of her living restrictions is not being spoken to or looked at because she's always having to hide. And the friend breaks all of those rules, and our main character worries that she is doing that because of the power and not because that they are friends.
So one day,
You guys
I'm
are doing very good at
gonna
avoiding words.
risk it. And I'm like, I might just like risk it and say a word or two here. One day. Oh, but she wants to make it easy to guess. Oh, God. One day, she decided to I'm trying to think of. Okay, no, I'm gonna like way jump ahead a little bit here. So one day she's walking along and Lord Asshole. Ooh, I'm safe. Pause. Lord Asshole kind of like corners her and they hear a scream and somebody has been killed. Okay, that word's safe too. Killed.
Our main character starts to panic because everyone is screaming. And our main character has the talent of being able to gather information about people's
People's what? Oh, you're scared now.
I am about people's emotions.
You're like, shit, can I say that? No, I'm like, man, I wish I picked emotions.
I know. Like, shit.
Or even feelings. Like, either way, there's like
I was
risky.
like, I don't know. I trust nothing. And so because of this, she knows exactly the fear that is going on in this moment.
I'm so annoyed that I picked words that you wouldn't guess. I was like, do I just pick everything from like the last books? Because we won't get that till the end. So like, you won't guess that. Like,
that's so funny.
And like you explained it perfect. I just got backwards in my head. They never found the culprit, and so Poppy. Oh shit! I said Poppy. Is that one of the
almost
words?
picked that as one of my words. I almost did.
So I'm not gonna say Poppy. So Poppy decided to go visit the gardens. And
I love the pauses.
And while she was there, her guard was killed. Guess.
Oh, my turn. So the immediate after effects of this murder send pandemonium through the residence that she is staying at, because the people that are running the show are trying to make the people that are in the show believe that the person that is not good is actually good.
Oh boy.
You might be at this for a while.
I know. I'm like, I didn't think that we were going to be, well, at least Katie was going to be so good at this. And I'm an idiot that picked my words incorrectly. Okay. I'm going to just talk normal and see what happens, I think, because we're like probably a lot of minutes already. So what happened? He died. Okay. What happens? So Poppy's guard, I think he is Victor.
See?
Helps people die with dignity. And so Poppy goes and she helps people that have been bit by a craven. Ooh. And
that would have been a good word.
That would have
when
been a good
they get bitten by a craven, they turn craven. No. Yeah. So they help them by killing them. Which sounds terrible, but that's what happens. Secretly, in secret.
So Poppy is aware of this act of kindness that they do, and she reveals herself, I'm going to just say it, as the maiden. Okay.
Literally, I picked my words in hopes that you wouldn't pick them because I'm stupid.
So
So
funny.
it's nothing obvious. None of my words are obvious at all.
Okay. So she reveals herself as the maiden to bring a sense of peace to the people as she then slits their throat, which is helping them.
Oh, I hear baby, maybe? Did I?
He just rolled over.
Okay. So,
He might be waking up, but he's not right now.
Poppy is due to be ascended. Is that one of them?
Yep.
Oh crap. Okay. I should have said ascension. Due to have her ascension. Okay, she's due to be ascended, and boy.
I don't.
Think he's actually awake?
I think he's waking up. I have to go get my baby who is crying. You guys know your words. You can make your own bomb sounds as you continue.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Go deal with baby.
Okay.
So if you see Kristen's screen go black, she'll be back.
She'll be back, no worries. Okay. Ascended. She's going to be ascended, or she's in line to be ascended, and she's supposed to stay pure and not talk to anybody up until that point because for some reason that's what the gods want, or so we're told. I'm like,
I can't remember the first book. I'm struggling. Okay.
I know, same. I'm like, I don't know. Yeah.
So Poppy has reservations about what the ascension might entail, because no one really knows what happens during the ascension, and her familiar person in her life has already gone through this ascension, and she has not really heard from him other than a few letters. She has not seen him, and so she questions what actually goes on during this ascension.
Yeah, what happens next? So let's just try to jump ahead to a random thing I remember. Poppy sneaks out and ends up on a ledge outside of somewhere that the Duke is comes into, and he starts chatting to another ascended guy, so she has to like jump out on the ledge and hide so that she's not caught sneaking out at night.
And the reason why she snuck out at night was because she got a particular form of literature
Oh yeah.
that she enjoyed reading, because it had some chili hot peppers going on inside of it.
Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. Poppy's love interest then comes and is like, what are you doing out here? And she's like, oh crap, how did you know? How did you find me? And then they just go back, I think.
I think so.
And then what the heck else happened in this book? Then Poppy attends her first rite.
Oh, that would have been a good word.
Would have been.
So at this rite, there is a family, and they are trying to beg the Duke and Duchess, if they cannot hand over their child that is destined to be given over to the rite. But the Duke and Duchess deny the request, saying that this would insult the gods, because
You will never
this is an honor to give your child away to be murdered, which we don't know yet. but-
literally to feed Kolis.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here. The family's denied, unless you already said that.
Yep, I did.
The Oh God, what do we say next? After this, what is the thing that called when all the bad stuff happened? Is that another rite?
I don't
That
know.
happened?
I think it's the same night, isn't it? Because doesn't the what's her face, the lady that was
I thought they asked for that. They said no.
and then that
Oh, maybe
lady
it was
comes
the
and is like,
same
you
night.
shouldn't be
Yes,
here.
you're right. You're right. You're right.
I
Okay.
think.
Yes, I think you're right. So, the Poppy speaks with Tawny and says to Tawny, like, go dance and have fun. Like, I'm just going to go back into my room because, like, I can see that you want to have fun and you're just trying to stay here with me. That's so nice of you. Tawny's like, no. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, okay. And then, as I think this is the same time, right? Is this when shit goes down?
I think
And then
so.
Poppy. Oh, yes. Okay. So they go, instead of going back to the room, Poppy and said love interest end up under a willow tree. And they do some spicy stuff.
I love the shoulder shimmy.
You know.
Poppy and Hawk. No?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Poppy
Yeah,
and
there's no
Hawk.
way. Like, I will be so shocked if you say any of these stupid words. I'm so annoyed.
Poppy and Hawk do the making out under the willow tree, and Victor comes, and I can't remember why he shows up there, but he's mad
I don't either.
that Poppy was doing this because if the Duke and Duchess find out that Hawk was touching her, that they would all be killed.
Oh, she would be.
And so they come
Unworthy.
back into the room, into the residence, and windows are broken, and evil creatures come through and start attacking.
Yeah, they do. All right, I'm gonna not censor anything now, I think, because we'll be here for 40 bajillion hours. So the Duke was missing. Not Duke, okay, at the right or whatever that was called. And people start screaming and they're attacking, and then the Duke is dead. And he's like hung up on something with a arrow through him, I
I think
believe.
it's a stake, but yeah.
Yeah, stake of some sort. People are screaming. And the Duchess is like, oh, follow me. I'll keep you safe in this room that's like a fishbowl that everybody can find you in, but it'll be fine. And so they all follow her into a room, and Victor dies.
Dead.
Dead.
Upon his death, Poppy is very sad, and she is holding him, and he says, I am sorry for not protecting you, insinuating. We thought at the time that he was
Yeah.
insinuating against the lessons of the Duke, but now we know that he's a victor, and
The
that
Victor
he
Victor.
was failing in his mission in protecting her,
His
which was
victorhood.
his sole purpose in life.
Yes. And then Castile.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm like, say it.
I'm going to say it, yes. Enters the chat. And is like, oh, Poppy, I'm so sorry. I don't know how to say his voice. I'm trying to like talk with his accent. And he stops Poppy because she gets pissed because Lord Asshole says something assholey, and she starts to like take his limbs off. Basically, he's just like
Yep.
kills him, and Cass pulls her off. And it's like, Poppy, no. And then we think it's Cass, like hits her in the head to knock her out, to stop her from digging herself a deeper hole, and the
Yep.
fact that she can defend herself and is killing somebody. And
So then Poppy enters a deep depression because Victor was like her father figure. And she doesn't leave her room, and she's medicated to basically sleep it off for the next long time.
time.
And when she comes out of that, is it because of the Craven attack? I can't remember. And she like grabs a hidden weapon in her chest and gives
I don't
one to
think so.
Tawny. No?
I think she just like wakes up and doesn't the Duchess want to talk to her?
I don't
And she's
remember.
like, "Oh my god, I'm in trouble." I don't know.
I don't remember the order of
I
operations.
don't know either. I don't know. Oh. No, actually, yes. Doesn't the Duchess talk to her and be like, "The Queen has summoned you"?
Yeah, you
Something
have
because
to.
of all these terrible things.
Yes, you have to go back to Cursidonia because you're not safe here or something because the Dark One is
No.
going to attack. is going to kidnap her and take her away.
All right. Have I been close to your other word yet?
Nope.
Really? Okay.
It hasn't even been
So-
alluded to yet. I'm actually surprised it hasn't been brought up yet. Neither of us have alluded to it.
Really?
Yeah.
And it could have happened? Like,
Yeah, I think
something
so.
we could have said that we just
I feel like
didn't?
at this point it probably could have, but we la-di-da'd over it.
Interesting. Does it continue happening?
Yes.
Like, am I?
It's a very continuous word.
Oh.
I have the
Okay.
opposite strategy.
Mine was not strategy. I thought it was strategy, and then I remembered, no, I want my word to be guessed. I
Yeah.
literally thought I didn't want you to guess my word. So I was purposely like, what are things that you probably will not say?
That's so
And
funny.
I don't know why, because Kristen made it very clear that that wasn't the case. I was just like thinking how I didn't want to guess the word, and then that like stuck in my head.
That's why I needed the clarification, because I was like, am I picking words that are easy for me to say but hard for you to say? Or
Yes. So Castile and the gang talk about like how they're going to get Poppy to the capital, and they determine that Tawny is not allowed to come, and the people get picked for the journey, and then they leave, and they have to go through the blood forest.
So they go to a town that is, I can't remember if it's like been abandoned by the Duke and Duchess of that area, but they're not there for some reason, and I can't remember why. And there's like a different people that are like overseeing everything, and they're kind of like rebels. And so they house them
Rebels.
there, and Poppy thinks it's weird that there's no Duke or Duchess there. And she finds out that wolven are with them.
Well, you can
And
say whatever you
she
want, and
starts
you're not gonna say
running because
them.
she thinks that Castile is actually the bad guy.
So she runs into the stables and is trying to get away from the dissenters. Ooh. And they're all in the stables or come into the stables or something, and one of them is like attacking her or something.
I feel like it's Delano, isn't it?
something. No, I think that Delano was the one that she. No, I don't think so. It's
No?
the guy that ends up getting killed. It starts with like a J. It's like
Jericho.
Jericho,
right?
Yes. And like Cass is like threatening them and like being ominous, so she doesn't really know if he's good or not. And I think that like Kieran is here at this
Yeah.
time.
Kieran's
And
the
he seems-
wolven that shows himself.
And they end up taking her to a cell and trapping her there.
up until, I don't know, they can get her to the capital. Ah! Until what?
They can get her to the cap. No, not to the capital. They're not going to the capital. Atlantia. Is that it?
That's it.
Atlantia? Oh. There we go. That's so
Well,
funny. You're like, wait,
there
where?
it is.
Go where? You heard me say capital? You're
Yeah.
like, huh? What'd you mean?
Yeah, what'd you say? Where were they going?
So funny. Oh, my words were so dumb.
Can you tell me what your words were now?
Yeah. So my question to Kristen, I was like, okay, if my word is Penelope and then Katie says Poppy, that doesn't count, right? Like that as saying it. She says, no, it would have to be Penelope or Poppy. I'm like, okay, perfect. And I'm thinking, she'll never say Penelope. She'll just say Poppy. So Penelope.
That's so funny.
Why I'm thinking that, I don't know. Macedonia. I just thought it was really
that would have
unlikely
been a
to
good
say
one, though.
Macedonia. And Gilded, just because I thought it was near the end.
Oh,
so the
yeah,
chances
yeah,
of us
yeah.
Getting that far.
I mean, 2 of the 3 weren't bad. Penelope, I probably never would have said, but
I know. That's why I was like, you're not going to say Penelope.
No.
That would be such a weird thing to say, but
that's so funny.
dang it. Well, you are going from second place to tied to first, Katie.
Woo, 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 woo. Woo, woo. Started from the bottom and now we here.
Can draw this on here enough that you can see it. Can you see it? Yes, you can.
Look at that. Looky
Oh,
there.
now I'm 2 points behind. That sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
I got to win the next 2 in a row.
I know. Selfishly,
to
I want you to
tie.
win the next one because then Kristen won't be
Then
in
Kristen
the lead.
doesn't get ahead, and then
and then
you're
I
not
have a
in second
chance to take the lead.
to lead. That's so funny.
To lead by myself.
That's so funny.
So I get to host
Um,
next one. That's fun.
Yeah, you do.
I think we better wait until Kristen comes back so we can sign off.
To sign off.
Yeah.
Let's go. So who won?
Okay. I won. 3-0.
Yeah.
So Kristen's baby is ready for bed. So we're going to make this sign off a little quicker than normal. So we do apologize. Professor Katie, quick homework assignments. We are starting the next book, which is what was it again, Amanda?
A soul of
Ash and Blood.
Yes, yeah, a soul of ash and blood. Yes,
Which is chapters 1 through 11, which I know you're probably thinking, guys, you can't read that many chapters. You're going to go too long. We're hoping that a little less on the plot because we've heard about it. We'll have less theories, but we'll see how it goes. We're open to
we'll
changing
see.
that.
We
but-
can make a call. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's your homework. I'll pass it over to Amanda for socials.
Yes, please like, comment, rate, review. Tell us what you think at Your Bookmark Pod on all of your social media accounts. Be our first comment and email us at yourbookmarkpod@gmail.com. We want to hear from you.
And sign us off, Kristen.
So with that, we're going to put our bookmarks actually not into our book because we're done it.
Take it out and get ready for the new one.
Yes.
Around.
And we will see you at our next chapter.
Bye.
Bye.